Well, good evening, Arkansas. Cameron Derrick back here with you again. We have a brand new tornado warning, and this one we've been watching for quite some time. And we gave you a hint about it a little while ago, and this is for our folks in the very southeastern corner of Union County.
Right. So we have a new tornado warning that's in effect. It's going to go until 7 o'clock this evening. It's going to go for southeastern Union County and eastern Union Parish, which is in North Louisiana. And it's going to go until 7 p.m. So a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 8 miles southeast of Farmerville, moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour here. So obviously the hazard is going to be a tornado here. If you know anyone in this area, they need to be seeking shelter immediately. Let's go ahead and take a look at our rotation indicator at this point. And there it is right here. It's clear as day. And boy, this may actually be... if not, they may be on the ground at this point here. But this is going to head towards the general direction of Marion and then eventually Huddock up here in far southeastern Union County. And it's going to make a run for southwestern Ashley County. So for my folks over there and cross along Highway 82, you need to be taking your tornado precautions. You need to pay attention to the storm. The storm is rapidly moving to the north and east here, about 40 miles per hour. So if you know anyone between Huddock and Crossett, they need to be seeking shelter immediately. Get away from windows, put as many walls to the outside as possible, and get to the lowest area of your home immediately. And also, we have a lot of mobile homes in this area in southeastern Union County and southwestern Ashley County. So if you're in a mobile home, if you can't get out, then what you need to do is find something sturdy and protect yourself, especially your head, from potential trauma at this point. Go ahead.
And something I want to mention about this storm is that this storm has a history of producing tornadoes and damage around the Jonesboro, Louisiana area a little bit earlier this evening.
Yeah.
And again, we have heavy reinforcements of trees, power lines down, and structure damage down just south of Ruston, literally just about an hour or so ago. And again, this storm is moving northeast. Again, it's currently still in Louisiana, moving northeast about 40 miles an hour. So that's going to put it into the Crossett area and the very southeastern corner of Union County here, a little after, closer to about 7 to 7:30 this evening. So again, this is an hour-long warning.
Yep.
And this is going to give you folks, especially in southeastern corner parts of Union County, far western parts of Ashley County, a good chance to take shelter ahead of this storm.
Yep.
Again, this storm has a history of producing tornadoes, so we definitely have to watch this storm. I do believe if it's not producing, it could once again any point in time.
Definitely, we're going to take a look at our debris indicator here. And right now, I'm not seeing any strong evidence of this thing being on the ground, but don't let that fool you guys. There is the area of rotation. There's very, very strong winds. As a matter of fact, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what we call our gate-to-gate shear. And this is going to kind of tell you the story of this area of rotation. Boy, Derek, look at that. Yep. There's your area of rotation right in here, which is just to the south and east of Farmerville at this point. So right in there where you see those bright oranges and the bright greens at this area, this is where your area of rotation is going to be, and this is where that possible tornado is going to be. And it's going to be moving northeast about 40 miles per hour. So Marion, Huddock, Pheasanthal, also towards Crossett. I got a lot of people, especially friends of mine, that live down here in southeastern Union County and also in Ashley County near Crossett. If you know anybody in Crossett, give them a heads up, call them, text them, say, hey, there's a tornado warning coming out of Louisiana coming your way. So you need to be taking shelter immediately at this point. But if you know anyone that's traveling between El Dorado and Crossett on Highway 82, they need to be seeking shelter immediately as well, especially if they're getting close to the Crossett area. El Dorado at this point, in Union County, if the sirens are going off in El Dorado for some reason, I don't know if they still do it for the whole county or just specific areas. If it's going off in El Dorado, you are in the clear. I want to stress that right now. Downtown El Dorado proper, you're good to go. It's areas along and east of that where Strong is. Strong towards Crossett along Highway 82. Those are going to be the areas of concern, and you need to be seeking shelter immediately. Also, if you know anyone, I know Huddock and Pheasanthal needs to be seeking shelter immediately.
We have a brand new
tornado warning
for Prairie White and Woodruff County as well. This one has just come into the AWW Weather Center as well.
Yep.
So this one is going to be up here in Central Arkansas, parts of East Central Arkansas as well. So now we have two warnings on the board once again and this is something we were worried about with the first round. Again, this is the first wave. The second wave is already starting out in Oklahoma and Texas, we have tornado warnings there as well.
Yep.
Again, I want to reiterate something here. I'm saying a lot of people saying, well, it's rain, we're in the clear, are we good to go? No, you're not.
You're not. You're not.
We are not done with this by any sort of the imagination. We are actually just getting started. As we mentioned, this afternoon we could see 1 or 2 warnings. This evening is when we would see an extensive threat for severe weather, depending how much instability got removed from the earlier round. And unfortunately, the instability remained in place for much of the state, even with the heavy rainfall, especially along the south of I-40 and along the west of I-30.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Something we're going to be watching for as we head throughout the evening hours. But once again, a brand new tornado warning has been issued for Woodruff Prairie, White County until 6:30 p.m. this evening. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Desart, moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. Some towns in and near the path of this storm: Pryor, Warden, Georgetown, Hurricane Lake, WMA, and Jasmine. Again, this is in rural areas of these 3 counties.
Augusta as well.
Yeah, if you live in Searcy and Beebe, this does not include you, but it does include areas just to your east here around Augusta and just north of Desart. If you live in Georgetown, lowest level of your house, away from windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible.
Yeah, and that's going to be the biggest thing at this point, guys. If you know anyone in Georgetown and you be seeking shelter immediately, and this is what we were talking about. There's going to be the potential of multiple areas seeing the potential of seeing severe weather. We got a new mesoscale discussion now. The tornado threat will continue throughout this evening. Some threat may eventually spread east of the current watch areas. So the watch goes until 9 o'clock, but the tornado threat is going to continue throughout much of the evening and into the nighttime hours. So this is why we've been stressing all day. I know we've been getting a lot of messages about heavy rainfall. It's the threat over with. We've gotten rain. It's threat over and stuff like that. Yeah. Folks, we are not done. We are not done. We are not going to be done until we issue the all clear. At this point, we have not issued all clear. We are not all clear across the state. Yes, we saw rainfall. Yes, we experienced round 1, but we are not done just yet. So if you know anybody in this area, they need to be seeking shelter immediately. That's Georgetown and also Augusta, Tupelo up here. McCurry, you should be fine for now, but just watch it closely. But this is going to say north of Desert at this point. But Georgetown and Augusta, you definitely need to be seeking shelter immediately at this point. Bald Knob, this should stay to your south and to your east. However, you're still in that polygon, so you may want to watch for some kind of shifts in the track. And we've seen this with these storms in Louisiana, where they have included and gone north with the rotation, and you've completely changed the path. So if you're in Bald Knob, have that mindset, be proactive, say, hey, you know, we're watching this storm, maybe best to go ahead and get ready and get to shelter at this current time here. What are you seeing over there?
All right, so once again, folks, we do have a tornado warning in effect for our folks in Union County. Again, that storm is still in Louisiana. We're going to be watching it over the next bit. We still have time to watch that storm.
Awesome.
If you live in the town of Huddy and cross it, start watching this storm closely. You will need to be taking your tornado precautions soon.
Also, our folks up here in northwestern Arkansas, this is going to be your next concern as well. This is round 2 starting to get going. You've got multiple severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings over here in northeastern Oklahoma and northwestern Arkansas. So this event is just now getting started. This is our energy beginning to come in. This is the main event beginning to come in. So we are not done just yet, guys. Remain patient with us. But I'm going to address both of these warnings right now. So 4 tornado warnings going to go until 6:30. It's going to go from Woodruff, Perry, and White counties until 6:30. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Desert, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour here. And there's your current track and the information you need to know on where this is going. So Georgetown, you've got about 5 minutes. Augusta, you have almost to the 6:30 time frame. Tupelo, 6:43, and then Beedville, which is going to be right around at 6:50, 6:53 time frame. So make sure you are taking your tornado precautions, getting away from windows, put as many walls to you in the outside as possible, and get to the lowest area of your home immediately. Go ahead there.
All right, and something else I do want to mention as well, we are getting reports of sirens not going off in Augusta. Right now you are under a tornado warning. So again, the warning is right at your doorstep.
That's
so
right there.
Don't wait to take cover. These storms have had a history of producing tornadoes with little or no warning. We have had reports out of Union County earlier today, 11 o'clock in the morning.
Norfolk. It was Norfolk.
Of damage from a possible tornado then. We've seen damage out of Louisiana. We've seen damage out of Garland County earlier this evening of a very strong one there. So again, don't wait until you see one. This is mostly over farmland along the White River.
Yeah.
However, don't let your guard down because there are still homes here. There is still a population here. And again, these storms can produce tornadoes with little or no warning. A tornado warning means tornadoes are imminent. Lowest level of your house, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible.
Yep.
Once again, this is for our folks in Augusta and Georgetown. You need to be in a safe place right now. Lowest level of your house, away from windows, and many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, not seeing anything on our debris signature. That's good. Rotation is there. It's kind of weak, but it is there. Continue to watching this storm closely.
Yeah.
Again, our folks in Union County, we are watching that storm as well. Tornado warning does go until 7 o'clock this evening. Again, it is there. It's just to the south of Hudson, and I would not be shocked to see if that warning gets extended a little bit further east as well. So again, two different warnings in effect right now. Our folks in northwest Arkansas as well. We are watching y'all as well.
So these are going to be your 3 areas right here. So you're going to have to watch northwestern Arkansas up here, Fort Smith, Rogers, this area up here, and northwestern Arkansas. We're watching the southeastern corner for the storms coming out of Louisiana, and then we're watching up here in northeastern Arkansas for these storms coming up from round one, finally leaving out of the state. So 3 areas of concern. This is why we're very busy. A lot of people are getting frustrated with us not answering questions and stuff like that. You're going to have to be patient with us, guys. We're monitoring every portion of the state. Nobody's being forgotten or anything like that. We just want to make sure that you guys know. So if you don't get your questions answered immediately, no need for all that. Just make sure you're staying patient with us, guys, okay? But that's the biggest thing. So you're going to watch southeast corner, northwestern Arkansas. That's with round number 2 getting started over here. And I'm getting very concerned also about southwestern Arkansas. There's some cells starting to go up in northeast Texas and southeastern Oklahoma. I'd be very curious to see what happens downstream from there. But northeastern Arkansas, you're going to have to watch this situation closely as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back up here just for a brief bit. This one making a run for Augusta and Beadville up here in northwestern Arkansas. Northeastern Arkansas. Take your tornado precautions immediately. Get away from windows, put as many walls to Union outside as possible, and get to the lowest area of your home immediately. Remember, Georgetown is right on your doorstep right now in Georgetown. Augusta, you have a little bit more time, but you don't have much. Tupelo, we're talking 6:43. Also, in the Beadville, we're talking right around that 6:50 to 6:53 time frame. So make sure you take your tornado precautions immediately in those areas. Down here in southeastern Arkansas, southeastern Union County, this is where that other tornado warning is at this point. Give me 1 second. We switch over to Streetport's radar. Give me 1 second, everybody. Give me 1 second. There it is. So we're going to switch over to Streetport's radar, and you're going to see the area of rotation basically right there just to the southeast of Fayetteville. Make sure you're taking your tornado precautions if you're in Hudson, in Strong, or in across the area at this current point. What you got for me?
All right. So once again, folks, for our folks in BB and Cersei, this is not affecting y'all right now. Yep. This storm is to your east. It's well east of 67167. This is going to cross Highway 64 right around the Augusta area here in about 15 or 20 minutes or so. But once again, we also, if you live in Augusta, you need to be taking your tornado precautions because this is where that storm is going to track. Now, for our folks in southeastern Arkansas, Crossett, Hudson, places like that, this storm has a history of producing tornadoes. It produced one down in Jonesboro, Louisiana. We have multiple reports of damage coming off I-20 as well.
Yep.
So again, this storm needs to be taken seriously. This one has a history of producing tornadoes, and it's moving from a direction you don't normally see. It's moving south to north almost. Right now, it's very rare to see that, but we do see it from time to time, and it almost, we're starting to get what we call a bookend vortex on this storm as well, on the northern edge of that line of storms. And what that means is that basically the storm is wrapping into itself and could actually increase the inflow from the back side of the storm instead of the front side of the storm. That's something we're going to have to continue to watch as well. But again, if you live across it, if you live in Huddy, you need to be watching that storm very, very closely over the next hour or so. And I think it's going to be into southern Arkansas here about 6:45 or so this evening.
Yeah.
But, so once again, 2 warnings in the state. One for now Woodruff and White County. Prairie County, you have been dropped. The storm has moved out of your area. And then, of course, another one for Union County. Currently in effect until 7 p.m. this evening. White and Woodruff County until 6:30 p.m. This evening. Also, for our folks in Northwest Arkansas, the second round is starting to fire up. That's going to come in. And again, a lot of people have also asked about, will this help to destabilize things? We are still sitting at 70 at the weather center here at 6 o'clock night. This after multiple rounds of rain this evening. Cape values, the instability values are still well above 1,000. So again, that being said, things are still relatively in place for severe weather as we head into the evening and the overnight hours. Now, for our folks downstream towards Jackson County, that's something we're going to have to watch out for with this storm as we...
I'm going to cut you off for just a second. I didn't mean to cut you off. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning now. That's going to go for Ashley County at this point. I'm not sure if they are, I believe they're going to keep that. It's going to be a severe thunderstorm warning. It's probably likely going to be tornado possible with that severe thunderstorm warning. It's going to go for Ashley County, which is going to be crossing. So it's kind of a continuation of the tornado warning that was down here. Yeah, short pulse. That's what I figured it was. It's going to be tornado possible for Ashley County. So treat that as if it was a tornado warning down here in Ashley County. That's the crossing area. That's going to be this area right in here. Okay, you need to be taking your tornado precautions. There it is right there. So severe thunderstorm warning. I know 60-mile-per-hour winds. I know it's a severe thunderstorm warning. It's not a tornado warning, but treat those severe thunderstorm warnings with the same respect you do with a tornado warning. Okay, you don't need a flashing red box to take it seriously. So tornado possible with this as well. So that's another concern. Remember what we saw earlier in Norfolk with that possible tornado. A lot of these storms tonight are going to produce tornadoes. They're going to produce these brief tornadoes, and a lot of times they're not even going to get warned, or they do get warned, but it's going to be severe thunderstorm warning tornado possible. So that's why we're urging you guys so much. Don't just rely on tornado warnings or the siren or anything like that. Focus on the severe thunderstorm warnings as well, because this is a very important severe thunderstorm warning where it has the tornado possible, the information inside the warning itself. So make sure you keep an eye on that. But for across it, in those areas in southwestern Ashley County and southeastern Union County, which is still under that tornado warning, make sure you're taking your tornado precautions immediately here. Go ahead, Dave.
All right, so the good news for our folks here also, I know a lot of folks in Woodruff and White counties are watching this storm closely. The area of rotation is currently about to cross over the White River, and current track is going to take it more towards maybe right in between Augusta and McCrory, or right over into Tupelo, Amagon. But again, the rotation has weakened on this storm significantly from when the warning was first issued. However, as you can see, these storms spin up and they spin down, spin up and spin down relatively fast this evening. And one of our partners at Channel 4 made a good point with this initial round. It's almost like a tropical hurricane setup where you have rain bands that are rotating because there's so much shear in the atmosphere. And so again, that's something we're going to have to watch for, because any one of these storms can go up and rotate and drop a brief tornado. The biggest thing is that we're not seeing those long track strong ones yet that have been expected this evening. So and that's a good thing. Will that remain to be the course as we head throughout the evening? We don't know yet. Another thing I want to address, along with the tornado threat, is the flash flooding. We've seen a lot of water rescues have started across a lot of northeast Arkansas, and then even parts of eastern Arkansas. That's something we're going to have to watch for as rainfall continues to move in. And again, we're going to get this initial round. Then you have a second round coming in this evening that's also going to have a chance to produce severe weather. These storms forming in southwest Arkansas, as these go up and interact with the environment around us, we could be saying again multiple different warnings being issued as we head into the evening and the overnight hours. We had a cap in place earlier today, and as we lost our daytime heating, the colder air is starting to come in and erode that cap, and just allowing storms to finally break that cap and go up.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to have to watch for over the next several hours. But once again, tornado warnings on the board. Woodruff and White counties go until 6:30 p.m. This evening. Rotation on this storm has weakened significantly.
Definitely. I agree. We're going to keep an eye on it, and I know there's a lot of weary people up here, Woodruff County, Jackson County, stuff like that. And this is kind of, awfully familiar to one of your classic Jonesboro tracks that you just have to watch closely. But this one in particular, I'm just not seeing a lot of rotation with it right now. That doesn't mean you let your guard down or anything like that, and it doesn't mean that we're not watching it. It just means at this point, the rotation itself is starting to become very, very weak, which is what we're expecting at this point. All this rainfall we're seeing right now, there's a lot of shower thunderstorm activity kind of interacting with it. It's choking it off, which is great news. So we'll keep an eye on it. If it does go, if the tornado warning still continues, I'll be real shocked to see how long they can maintain the tornado warning given the amount of rotation that's kind of decreased. But we'll keep an eye on the situation here. But if another one gets issued, we'll be on top of it. But I was going to say, I don't want to forget about my folks down here in South Arkansas.
Let's go back to South Arkansas. Let's pull up our rotation on this storm as well. This storm continues to produce areas of rotation. As a matter of fact, it's almost shifting from Union County to more of a threat towards Ashley County, areas around Crossett, Hamburg, places like that. Would not even be shocked to see it as far east as Wilmot. Well, once again, this is a tornado possible tag, but this storm has a history of producing damage in Louisiana already. So once again, if you live in Crossett, you're not under a tornado warning yet, go on and take those tornado precautions just in case. Again, so for those storms with 60-mile-per-hour winds can produce as much damage as a tornado. We talked about this. So once again, if you live across it, Huddy, Hamburg, Wilmot, I would go on and take your tornado precaution. The one thing about it is there is a tornado warning just to your southwest. As this trend, again, this is right in between two National Weather Service offices. We don't make the warnings, they do. We just relay the information. So again, as this tornado warning crosses, as this area of rotation crosses from one service office to another, that warning may or may not get issued. That's why there's a tornado possible tag to keep you abreast of this situation at this time. So once again, these are the two warnings in effect right now. Our folks in Central and Northeast Arkansas, for our folks in Woodruff and White counties here for a couple of more minutes. That warning just got canceled for Woodruff and White counties.
Okay.
Yep. So now our focus is going to shift back down here to South Arkansas. So Woodruff and White counties, you are now in the clear for this time. Again, severe threat continues statewide at least through the early morning hours
of Tuesday.
This evening. Flash flooding, winds, and tornadoes continue to be the main threats this evening. But
I want to stress something about the tornado threat as well. We're still going to be expecting that strong tornado potential. And another thing I'm worried about, especially with this type of setup, is we've gone from earlier today it looked like it was going to be a supercell threat. Now it's kind of looking like a combination of the both. Now we talked about this too, where it was going to be we'd have to watch either for the supercell threat or the QLCS threat, and it's kind of a combination of both. So that makes it all the more dangerous, right? You have potential of both the supercell and the QLCS threat. What we mean by QLCS is the embedded rotations along the squall line. So kind of we're watching it closely at this point, but I want to stress that strong tornado potential is still on the table. It hasn't completely gone away because the shear profiles are going to be off the charts late tonight. So monitor that as well. That threat has not significantly changed at all. That still remains in effect at this point. But the tornado watch still remains in effect until 9 o'clock. There's the tornado warning still remains in effect for southeastern Union County and also Union Parish down here in North Louisiana. It's going to go until 7 o'clock. So we have about another 40 minutes or so before this warning is expired for our folks in southeastern Arkansas. They don't drop it completely. But right now, that area of rotation is pretty strong just to the northwest of Sterlington or just south of Huddick right now, moving northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So cross it areas along Highway 82 over here and cross it. Also, we're going to have to watch Highway 425 that runs from Fountain Hill all the way down to Bastrop. Make sure you're taking your tornado precautions. Just because it's a severe thunderstorm warning doesn't mean you don't need to be seeking shelter. It's tornado possible for a reason. Yeah. So don't rely on the tornado warnings or anything like that. Don't wait for it to go warned. If we tell you to seek shelter, then go ahead and do it. That way you're saving yourself and the people around you time to get to shelter. That way if a warning goes out, you're already there. No questions asked. So that's going to be the biggest thing at this point here. What are you seeing over there in terms of
so far so good?
Yeah.
What I'm seeing is again, we are right in between radar sites, so this is going to be interesting to see how this rotation transpires. Again, this storm has a history of producing tornadoes in Jonesboro, Louisiana, and even some damage as far north as in and around the Ruston area. So what that means is that we need to keep a close eye.
Yep.
We need to keep a close eye on this storm as it continues pushing into Southeast Arkansas. Again, this is going to move across this state line here in about 10 or 15 minutes. And this is going to affect areas around Crossett, around Hamburg, around Wilmot, and Huddig here really in the next 15 or 20 minutes or so. And again, just because this moves through does not mean you are done for the evening. Tornado watch does continue until 9 p.m. I fully expect an additional watch to be issued after 9 o'clock as well for the round coming out of Oklahoma and Texas. Again, the biggest question is going to be to see how far south that area of Sugar in Oklahoma can extend south. If it can extend south towards the Red River, it'll affect most of the state. If it stays north of I-40, it'll only affect the northern parts of the state. So, but we expect additional round of shower storm. We're already seeing that across parts of southwest Arkansas as well.
Yeah.
But once again, this is the only one in the state. This is one we are going to focus on right now.
Yep, and that's going to be the biggest thing for right now. It's just watching the situation closely. This is north and west of Sterlington, or just south of Huddig at this point. And you guys can see this is the area of rotation. We've got this awesome tool, by the way, showing where the area of rotation is, where your green and your reds are coming inbound. This is where that possible tornado is going to be. It's going to be right there just north and west of Sterlington or south of Huddig. And it's moving northeast at about 30 miles per hour. And the newest scan that we just got in, let's take this off. Newest scan continues to show that evidence of rotation. Now, obviously, it's not as intense as it was when it was closer to Farmerville down here in North Louisiana. However, we're going to have to watch the situation closely because, like I said before, you've got the wind shear to back it up. You've got the still not a significant amount, not the 2K we had earlier, but you still had 1,000 instability left to cause severe weather. So keep that in mind across the board. We're going to have to watch the situation closely. For my folks in Crossett, Ashley County, Wilmot, for now, I would say this should stay to your west. But I would go ahead and just watch the situation closely and be proactive. And if warning gets issued for your area, do you know what to do? But Crossett, I'm pretty concerned about your area here. That's going to zoom this down even further. And this is going to be like right there. There's your area of rotation. There's your tornado warning that's still in effect. But for Crossett, Highway 82, and then 425 that runs from basically Hamburg down to Bastrop, those are going to be the areas of concern as well. We're going to zoom this out even further, give you guys a little bit more of a view. So for this coming in across here, I would say the first areas is going to be that Union Pacific train area, that road down there, southwestern Crossett. And then we've got downtown Crossett as well, but Highway 82, if you're in Crossett right now, yes, you're not under a tornado warning, but you're under a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag with it. So treat that as if it was a tornado warning.
We have a brand new tornado watch that has just been issued for Southeastern Arkansas till 3 a.m.
Okay, so we got a new tornado watch that's just been issued. We're going to go ahead and zoom down and give you guys the newest information with that here. But yeah, we have a new tornado watch that's just been issued. There it is right there. So this is going to be tornado watch number 3.
A couple strong tornadoes possible.
Yeah, but there's a couple of strong tornadoes will be possible down here in southeastern Arkansas. That's from Stuttgart, Dumas, Crossett, Monticello, in this area here along Greenville at this point. So we've got tornado watch number 3. It's going to go to 3 a.m. This morning here. So this is why we're saying, guys, it's going to be a very long night for us here.
And this is with round 1
in
South Arkansas. We still have round 2 coming out of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So again, like we said, this is not going to cross the Mississippi River till after sunrise. And there's some guys that says we could be dealing with this also tomorrow in parts of Southeast Arkansas as well if this front doesn't clear out completely.
In time.
Something we're going to watch as we head into the overnight hours to see how far east this gets by sunrise tomorrow. But once again, tornado warning does continue for Union County right now. Ashley County, I will not be shocked to see a warning get issued shortly for you as well. And again, on downstream, our folks towards Monticello, towards Lake Village, towards Dumas. This is a storm we're going to have to watch as it continues pushing northeast through the southeastern part of the state. Again, this is where now. There's something else I want to reiterate. Something interesting is going on right now in the state. We have behind this first round, southerly winds are picking up. We have 29 mile per hour winds right now at the Weather Center. I'm seeing reports around the state of a lot of wind around the state. I do believe you could be seeing what's called a wake low forming behind this first round.
Yeah.
And what that means is that you're going to see a rapid increase in temperatures, but also those southerly winds rapidly bringing in
the moisture.
Rapidly bringing in the moisture and the instability behind this first round. We have 20 to 22 mile per hour winds coming out of the south right now, and I'm seeing a lot of this across state. Now we have a brand new warning that has just been issued for Ashley County as well.
Yeah, and there it is right there. So before I'm gonna wait till you. And I think you got it before I did. So it's gonna be a tour or it's gonna be a tornado warning. Yep. There it is. All right. So we got a new tornado warning in place. Give me 1 second, guys. There's the newest information here. Derek, if you want to go ahead and read to
us.
us.
So this is a tornado warning for western Ashley County and southeastern Arkansas. So we're looking on capable of producing a tornado. We're looking at 12 miles north of Sturgeon, Louisiana. 13 miles northwest of Bastrop, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. Again, some towns in and near the path of the storm crossing around 6:55 north crossing around 7, and Hamburg around 7:15. So, as we've been talking about for the last 30 minutes or so, cross it, Hamburg, you need to be taking your tornado precautions. Really, cross it, Fountain Hill, West Cross it, Hamburg. There's a lot of deer camps down here. There's a lot of duck camps down here. You need to be taking your tornado precautions, lowest level of your house, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible.
Yeah, and that's the thing, guys. So that's before we got that new tornado warning in place. It should be popping up here shortly on my end. But at this point, basically where that track that I had earlier, I was kind of watching that because we were seeing that there could be a potential, what we call a little meso-low kind of getting going down here in southeastern Arkansas, and that's the case. So that tornado warning's in place. So cross it. You have about until 7 o'clock at this point, maybe a little sooner than that. And then for the Hamburg area, we're going to be talking around that 7:10, 7:15 time frame. So make sure that you're taking your tornado precautions immediately. Get away from windows. Put as many walls to you on the outside as possible. Get to the lowest area of your home immediately at this current time here. Okay, so I'm going to get the information up with this here in just a little bit. But I want to kind of give you guys a statewide view on what's going on at this point. So not taking anything away from Ashley County, but we're also watching northwestern Arkansas. We have a tornado possible, severe thunderstorm warning, getting ready to make its way towards Benton and Washington counties up here in northwestern Arkansas. So if you know anyone in this area that need to be seeking shelter immediately at this point, get away from windows, put as many walls to you outside as possible, and get to the lowest area of your home immediately. So my folks up here in northeastern Oklahoma and northwestern Arkansas. But for right now, at the immediate time frame, this is where our attention is going to be. It's going to be down here in southeastern Arkansas at this time here. So there's the tornado warning. It finally popped up on the screen, finally. But there's the tornado warning. It's going to go for Crossett. It's going to go for Hamburg as well. Take your tornado precautions immediately. And there's a lot of people down here that don't have a lot of service or anything like that. Don't have a lot of weather coverage down here. Tell them about the page. If they got Facebook, tag them in the comments. That way they can get the latest information with this. But for Crossett, Hamburg, and the Huddock area, take your tornado precautions immediately. Get away from windows. Put as many walls to uni outside as possible, and get to the lowest area of your home immediately. Go ahead, Derek.
And again, also, I'm going to go on and give us a downstream warning as well. This will stay north of Lake Village for our folks in Lake Village, but this will affect folks in between Monticello and Arkansas City on or about after the 7:30 hour. So once again, we have a tornado warning for our folks here in Ashley County. This is moving out of Louisiana. Now, I want to reiterate something. This storm has a history of producing tornadoes. It has a history of producing lots of damage. Again, lots of damage, tornadoes. That means you need to be in a safe place right now. Just because there's not one right now, or one's been reported. It's dark outside now. It's late. It's dark. You need to be taking your tornado precautions, lowest level of your house, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Just because you can't see it, and you shouldn't be trying to spot it. It's dark outside. Just because it's not affecting you right now does not mean it will not shortly. Yep. Because these storms are moving at 40 to 50 miles per hour. This will come in, out, and gone before you know it.
Yep. Yep, and we've got some more warnings. You can hear that back in our background. We've got more warnings coming out from Oklahoma. So this is rapidly ramping up. We were telling you guys that this was going to ramp up as we get towards this evening and into the overnight hours, stuff like that. That's why we have it said all day, is this threat over? It's not over just yet here. So for my folks in Croston and Hamburg, and I apologize for going silent, I've got a lot of friends down here in Southeastern Arkansas and Ashley County in particular, so I'm just giving them a heads up. But Croston and Hamburg, they need to be seeking shelter immediately. And also I'm getting concerned about downstream cities as well. Fountain Hill, we talked about this with the last event. Yep. The Fountain Hill area, the Montrose area down here in Southeastern Arkansas. You guys were here with the last event where we had those tornado warnings down here. So watch the situation closely. But this is going to go into Croston. And it's also going to go to Highway 425 over here and also Highway 82 at this point. If you know anybody in this area, tag them, tell them, blow their phones up, say, hey, there's a tornado warning. Mm-hmm. It's not a wait and see tornado warning. It's a taking action tornado warning at this point, okay?
And again, this is the only warning in the state. This is the one we're going to be focusing on right now. Again, folks, there are a lot of deer camps down here. There are a lot of duck camps. Deer season over with for the most part, but duck season does still go on. Also, there's a lot of hunters here. I know there's a lot of fish camps down there as well. A lot of wooden structures as well.
Yep.
Again, this is an area where you need to be taking precautions. A lot of trees. You're not going to see it coming.
Do not try to go out there.
If you live in this area, know anybody that lives in this area, they need to be taking tornado precautions now. Lowest level of your house, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Now, for our folks in Northwest Arkansas, we're not taking it any away from Southeast Arkansas, but your second round is rapidly ramping up, especially for Northwest Arkansas. Again, this is the question mark we had. Would the rainfall counteract severe weather that's hitting up? This is obvious going. Again, we're seeing a little bit struggling down there towards the bottom half of it, but you can see storms firing east of Dallas all the way up that line, and that's our cold front coming through. That's going to be our second round coming through this evening. So,
and I'm very concerned about it too. Notice how there's a lot of what we call parameter spacing between these storms here. So this is your second threat. Northwestern Arkansas, you're going to see a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings here just shortly. As I said before, we're not taking anything away from Southeastern Arkansas at this time. I know a lot of people down here don't have a lot of coverage and everything, but we're also monitoring other areas of the state as well. So we're kind of multitasking at this point, giving you guys updates Southeast Arkansas, but we're also kind of keeping a close eye on Northwestern and Western Arkansas at this time as well. This is your second round, and this is the round that we were expecting to have that tornado threat and stuff like that. And also one more thing, while we're on this tornado warning here for our folks in Ashley County, I want to make something perfectly clear. If you do not see severe weather today, consider yourself blessed. There's been multiple reports. We've had reports from Norfolk. We've had reports from Jessieville of a tornado earlier hit the high school in Jessieville. If you do not see severe weather today, if you don't see a tornado today, consider yourself blessed. There's no reason to be mad about it or anything like that. No reason to hound us or your local Mets across the state. No reason for it at all. If you don't see anything today, congratulations, you're all gravy. But if you do, have a game plan ready to go. We've had multiple reports today of tornadoes, so we're going to watch the situation closely, and we are not done, by the way. I want to stress that too. We've got to get through this evening. We've got to get through tonight, do the overnight hours, and we may actually be continuing with this tomorrow morning as well. We're going to have to watch the situation closely, but if that cold front slows down, we may be talking about some morning tornado potential across far eastern Arkansas along the Mississippi River. We'll address that when the situation comes. So for my folks in Crosset, the Ashley County area, Montrose, I know you're not in the morning yet, Montrose, but you need to watch the situation closely. and also that Highway 165 corridor between 82 and that Highway 165 corridor over here in Ashley and Chico County. Keep an eye on this storm as well, because that's where eventually it's going to go up here, moving to the northeast about 40 miles per hour. So just wanted to make that clear, guys. So that tornado warning is going to remain in effect at this current time until 7:30 this evening. It's going to go for Ashley County at this point. Take your tornado precautions immediately. Derek, do you see anything in terms of
I'm updating our watch box and getting this up as well for our folks in Southeastern Arkansas right now as
well. And also we're getting reports. This is from the WPC talking about, and once again, I know a lot of people have kind of brushed this under the rug, but we're dealing with a flooding threat as well. So we're dealing with a tornado threat. Some of them could be potentially strong. We're dealing with a damaging wind threat. The hail threat, not as much today. We're seeing a damaging wind and tornado threat. And, okay. Oh, that's going to be up there in northwestern Arkansas. So, anyway, so we're dealing with tornado threat, damaging wind threat, and we have a flooding threat now starting to set up for North Louisiana, Southeastern Arkansas, and Western Mississippi. So a combination of all your severe hazards coming together with this event. Don't ignore the flooding threat either. No, it's not, as popular as a tornado threat or anything like that, but flooding can be just as bad. As a matter of fact, flooding does actually lead all of your severe weather threats. That's your wind, your hail, and your tornado at this point. So make sure you're taking that seriously. Make sure if you're traveling, turn around and do not drown at this point. But the tornado warning still remains in effect down here in Southeastern Arkansas. We're going to go back over to our rotation indicator, and then we're going to take a look at northwestern Arkansas. But there's the area of rotation, and it's tightened significantly from the last couple of scans, and it's making an approach for Highway 142.
These folks here in Southeastern Arkansas, especially Ashley County, just to the southeast across it, along Highway 133, on over towards Highway 82, you definitely need to continue watching this storm
closely.
Very, very, very closely. There are a few residential areas, but there are definitely a lot of deer camps, fish camps, areas like this. As I've said again, not seeing anything on radar in terms of debris yet, but it does not mean we won't see it soon.
Yeah, and we're going to take a look at our gate-to-gate shear here. It's going to come up just shortly. There's the area of rotation right there. Now, I said before, this is not as significant compared to what we were looking at earlier on, but it's still there. It still warrants a tornado warning at this point. So that's going to be Highway 133 over here, Highway 82, and the Highway 425 area over here in Ashley County. So take your tornado precautions immediately at this point. What we're going to do is we're going to zoom this out, kind of do double coverage, Southeastern Arkansas, and now we've got Northwestern Arkansas up here. There was a severe thunderstorm warning that just got issued. It's going to go for Benton County up here. We've got some cells coming out of Oklahoma, eastern Oklahoma, that are going to be capable of producing hail, wind, and the potential of a couple of tornadoes up here as well. So kind of multitasking at this point. There's your line of storms beginning to develop right down northeast Texas up to eastern Oklahoma and then southeastern Kansas, much of Arkansas as well. And then we're continuing to watch southeastern Arkansas. And there's actually another tornado warning in Louisiana following right behind it. So Ashley County, what I would do once this first storm passes, remain in shelter, because there could be another storm coming from your southwest and moving northeast towards that area here. So just kind of remain in your shelters. Once this storm has passed, we'll give you an all clear when it's available. But if you know anyone in Ashley County, and also Chico and southern and southeastern Drew County as well, to stay south of Monticello as of now. But if you know anybody in this area, they need to be seeking shelter immediately. So Ashley, Chico County, you're not in it just yet, but be proactive. Look where the situation is, know where your surroundings are. If one gets issued, react quickly, okay? Southern Drew County, same thing goes for you as well. This is going to be staying south of Monticello, and it should track just to the south and east of Crossett. Crossett, remain in shelter. Stay where you are at this point. Montrose, you need to go ahead and seek your tornado precautions now. Even though you're not under a tornado warning, I would go ahead and take those precautions at this current point here. Derek, are you seeing anything on your end? What you got?
Right now, I'm seeing increasing in our rotational scan, just about to cross the border here into southern Ashley County. If you're living in Union County right now, this is beginning. This is okay. It's kind of transitioning away from Union County right now. but it is continuing to
There it is
move
right there.
into Ashley County. Again, we are right in between two radar sites now, so this is where things are
There's
going to
another
get
one right there.
a little bit harder to see. But once again, let's look at our Jackson radar here,
Yeah, that's
just to
what
get a better viewpoint of this storm coming out of the southeast. Now, the biggest thing is, this is moving into an environment that's highly unstable.
Yeah.
This Southeast Arkansas has been untouched all day long, so this is an area that we've been concerned about, where we could see a few added additional storms, and unfortunately, we are seeing that transpire this evening. Now, once again, I want to stress something else too. If you remember, Lake Village, Chico County was in a slight risk.
Yep.
Ashley
Exactly.
County is in the enhanced risk.
Yep.
Notice, this is exactly what we're talking about. Storms don't care about what your risk area is. This is where we are. This is exactly what we were talking about when it involves ongoing severe weather risk areas.
Matter of fact, we can take a look at that. So this is where we're going to turn radar for just a bit. This is where current tornado warning is right there and along the enhanced risk. Slight risk is over here. So this is what we talk about all the time about, don't pay attention to the bigger risk and stuff like that. Low end severe threats can happen as well, and this is exactly what you're seeing at this point, and this is exactly what's going to be happening. Tornado warning is going to continue into Ashley County, and I wouldn't be shocked to see an extension into northeastern Ashley County, and also western and northwestern Chico County, and far southeastern Drew County before it's all said and done here, because that area of rotation is definitely picked up in intensity here. Okay, so biggest thing we're going to talk about at this point, so before, make sure you're taking your tornado precautions immediately. There's the area of rotation. I mean, boy, you cannot miss it at all. There it is right there, just to the south of Crossit. At this time here, give me 1 second. Let's get this up and going. So this is going to be your area of rotation right in here. Give me 1 second. Let me do this real fast. There it is. So give me 1 second here. All right. So 1 second. Okay. There's your area of rotation. It's going to be right in there. You need to be taking your tornado precautions immediately. Get away from windows. Put as many walls to you on the outside as possible, and get to the lowest area of your home immediately at this current time. I cannot stress that enough at this point. There's the tornado right there. There's the area of rotation. It's going to be south across it at this point, and it's also going to be, give me 1 second, and it's going to be just to the south and west of Highway 425, which is going to be just southwest of Wilmot, just west of Bonnet, south of south of Crossit at this point, east and southeast of Huddock, and east of Marion at this time. El Dorado, the folks over there in Union County, you're good to go at this point. Okay, this is going to stay well to the east of Union County at this time. It doesn't mean your severe threat is over. It doesn't mean you're done with severe weather for the night. You are not done with severe weather. You will experience multiple rounds of severe weather until the front of boundary makes its way through late tonight and early tomorrow morning. But this is where your tornado warning is going to be, and there's the area of rotation right here. So south across it and along 425 at this point, you need to be taking your tornado precautions immediately. Get away from windows, put as many walls to you outside as possible. Get to the lowest area of your home immediately here. And there it is right there. It's going to cross right over Highway 142 over here. It's going to make a run for Highway 425 at this point. But if you know anyone that is on Ashley Road, we're talking County Road 231 over here. Zoom this down even further. You guys a little bit of perspective on where this is going to be. So the area of rotation is going to be right there. And there's your track of the storm at this point. So see if I can scoot this over so you guys can see it. And there it is right there. So we're talking Ashley Road over here. We've got County Road 231. We also got County Road 262. Ashley Road number 4. This is rural area out here. Ashley Road 254 over here. And then Highway 425 that runs from Ashley County down into North Louisiana. So if you know anybody in this area, tell them to take their tornado precautions immediately, guys. Don't wait for it to touch down or anything like that. Take your tornado precautions immediately at this current point. What you got for me, Derek?
All right. So biggest thing is that we are watching right now. We have Ashley County, and again for our folks across it, West Crossit.
There's another one up here in severe thunderstorm tornado possible up there in Clay County up there in northeastern Arkansas. Go ahead.
So the biggest thing is lowest level of your house, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, this is a situation. These storms have a history of producing tornadoes this evening, and again, we see no reason why that will not continue as we head into the overnight hours. Again, our shear Our shear is there. Instability is still somewhat there. But we still have everything in place for severe weather as we head into the overnight hours.
Yep. So there's now so we now have a new situation over here. Not taking anything away from Ashley County here, but we have a new situation over here in eastern Oklahoma and northwestern Arkansas. There's a new tornado warning over here that's going to go for these areas over here in northeastern Oklahoma, and it's going to make a way for our folks over here in Fort Smith. So if you know anybody that's on Interstate 40 right now between Stigler and also South Saw over here, take your tornado precautions immediately. If you know anyone in Fort Smith right now, monitor this situation closely. This is what we're talking about. These storms are getting going in eastern Oklahoma, but they're getting into Arkansas and getting into a much better environment for the potential of seeing tornadoes. So if you know anyone in Fort Smith, western Arkansas, Sebastian, Crawford County, this is my first alert to you guys over there. Watch the situation closely, remain aware, be proactive tonight. Stay on top of your warning, stay on top of the alerts. If a warning gets issued for your area, seek shelter immediately. You've got to react pretty quickly for tonight here. But we're going to go out to Southeastern Arkansas. This is still outside of our region area at this point. But if you know anyone along Interstate 40, just to the west of Fort Smith, encourage them to seek shelter immediately at this point. But for Sebastian and Crawford County, that's my first alert to you guys. You're going to have to watch that tornado warning storm very closely here. But now we're going to go back to Southeastern Arkansas, Ashley County at this point. Highway 425, the tornado warning storm is right over your area. Cross it, you're getting a lot of heavy rainfall, strong winds on the backside of this area of rotation at this point. So you're going to have to watch out for that. There could be some wind gusts up to 50 to 60 miles per hour on the backside of this area of rotation. But right there on Highway 425, if you're traveling right now, you're trying to make your way down to Louisiana, I'd stop, find a gas station, and get to shelter immediately. If you live anywhere in this area down here in Ashley County along that 82 425 corridor, make sure you're in a safe place at this time here as well. So we're going to zoom this out a little bit further. Hamburg, I'm not going to give you the all clear. This should stay to your south and east, but Hamburg, go ahead and seek your tornado precautions. Remember what I said, be proactive tonight. Be proactive, be proactive. That's the biggest thing I want to stress to you guys right now. Montrose, Jerome, same thing to you guys. Be proactive for tonight. You gotta react quickly. You see the tornado warning to your southwest. Don't wait for it to get to you. Take advantage of the time that you have right now to get to shelter. That way you're already there when a tornado warning gets issued for your area here. So do you have any information on your side?
The newest update on the warning, they have canceled the warning for Union County as well. Have continued it for our folks in Ashley County. Okay. Again, it still does include Crossett. It still includes Hamburg. You need to be taking your tornado precautions right now. Lowest level of your house, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, this storm has a history of producing tornadoes this evening. Right behind it, we have another one that is coming out of Monroe.
Yeah.
So once again, this is a wave after wave. This is what we talk about: wave after wave after wave of severe weather this evening. Yep. And unfortunately, round 1 and round 2 are conjoining into one big round, and you see our line of supercells starting to form all the way down that cold front now. As this continues to push east, these storms will continue to encounter an atmosphere that is conducive for severe weather. So, once again, our folks in Ashley County, that's our concern right now. But we are watching our folks here in Fort Smith as well.
Yep.
Once again, if you live along Highway 82 and along Highway 133 in Ashley County, along Highway 167, you need or 165, you need to be taking your tornado precautions right now. If you live in a mobile home, you know the safest place is the center part of that home. Again, it's not the safest place to be, but it's better than nothing at all.
Yep.
But right now, if you live in a house with a shelter, you need to get to it. You need to be in it. You know, mattress, pillows, blankets, whatever you can put over your head. Again, well, head injuries are the number one thing we see with tornadoes first. So that's what we see first. So if you can protect your head and protect your body from flying debris, that is what we will see first. Again, if you hear my voice and cross it, stay in your shelter until we tell you otherwise. And if you live in Hamburg, you need to be in your shelter right now. Once again, tornado warning does continue here until for at least until 7:15, 7:30 this evening. So again, they have actually so it's until 7:30 this evening here for our folks in Ashley County. Now we have a secondary storm coming out of Monroe. Yep. If this storm moves northeast, it will track roughly over the same areas as the one that has just moved through. Now, not only do we have the tornado threat with this storm as well, but we're also seeing an increase in flash flooding risk as well. Where they had a tornado in Jonesboro, Louisiana, we're now getting reports
of flooding.
Flooding in the same area. 3 to 5 inches of rain has already fallen as well. So keep this in mind. If you live in low-lying areas, you need to be mindful of that. Once the tornado threat gets out of the way, you're going to have to watch for that flash flood threat. So if you're in a flood-prone area, you need to be wary of both the tornado threat and a flooding threat over the next 30 to 45 minutes as well.
And you can take a look at this. This is some of the reports. This is, like I said, outside our viewing area, but you got a couple reports of tornado. There's a tornado, but there's a flooding report over that area here, over the area that literally just got through dealing with the tornado threat here, guys. So make sure you're taking your tornado precautions over here as well, down here in Southeastern Arkansas. We're gonna monitor the situation closely. Let's go ahead and take a look at our rotation at this point here. That's gonna go from right here, and there it is. There's that broad rotation right here. Now I would say there's some competition going on between the northern part of the storm and then the southern part down here near Bastrop. If that ends up being the case, then what will end up happening is this warning goes away and you get a whole brand new warning that would probably go from Wilmot. So Wilmot, I would watch the situation very, very closely. Cross it, still remain in your shelters. Don't get out of your shelters or anything like that. It's not all clear. But if you know anyone in that Wilmot area, Highway 165, excuse me, watch the situation closely. You may see a flop with the tornado warning go from that one area down into this area here. Just depends on which rotation kind of wins out at the end of the day here. Now you have this area down here in just southwest of Monroe, Louisiana. There's the other area of rotation down here, and that's going to move northeast at roughly about 40 miles per hour here. So you need to be taking your tornado precautions immediately down here in Monroe, Interstate 20, and you're going to have to watch this up here near Ashley County. Highway 425 up here as well is going to continue into Southeastern Arkansas over the next 30 to 40 minutes at this current point. Also, so before not taking anything away from Southeastern Arkansas, I want to make that clear right now. But we're watching northwestern Arkansas as well. Tornado warning near Fort Smith. Severe thunderstorm warning up here in northwestern Arkansas. And in this one up here near Clay County, there was a severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible near Piggott. That storm has allowed to be and has pushed into southeastern Missouri near the Boot Hill region. So as of right now, no tornado warning with this. But if you have the severe thunderstorm warning up here near the Piggott, the Clay County area up here, take your tornado precautions.
All right, so we have new information from SPC.
Okay.
The entire state is now in enhanced risk.
Okay.
So Chico County and Washington County, they've actually expanded it west with this initial round. Your enhanced risk now goes past this round here all the way. So it moved a little bit east and continued west.
Yeah.
So again, this goes to show you our severe threat continues. Our tornado risk is still 10%. It's still hatched across the entire region.
Yeah.
So once again, that does mean that the threat for tornadoes does exist. Like we mentioned, the atmosphere is still very prime for severe weather as we head into the overnight hours.
This is getting ready to set up to be an overnight event for us here in Arkansas, and that's the biggest thing we were stressing. We know during the day we were struggling, and I told you guys, we told you guys as well throughout the day we were going to struggle with our ingredients and everything like that. Now you're getting into the nighttime hours, your low-level jets starting to increase and stuff like that. So what you're seeing on your screen right now, this is a tornado threat. Medium for basically the entire state of Arkansas, except for our folks up there in northeastern Arkansas. But it doesn't mean anything if you're not in the biggest risk. Okay. This is also the convective categorical risk, and it's just basically at this given point, anybody that's basically from Benton County down to Chico County is in the enhanced risk. It basically goes for the entire state at this given point. So continue to monitor for severe weather. We are not done yet. We are not done yet. I want to make that clear. We are not done. When we get past tomorrow morning, we will be done. But right now, we're in the middle of a potentially severe weather event coming for our area at this point. So Hamburg, the Ashley County tornado warning still remains in effect until 7:30. We're going to go ahead and take a look at our rotation indicator at this point, and it's still suggesting that broad area of rotation is going to be right there to the south and west of Wilmot at this current time.
This is going to be tracking right in between Crossett and right in between Wilmot. If you live in Crossett, continue taking your tornado precautions at least for a few more minutes here across Crossett. But this storm is moving just to the east of Crossett. We'll let you know when you can come out of your shelter in Crossett. Now, for our folks in Wilmot and Montrose, this area, and Dermont, this is now starting to transition towards you. So not only am I concerned about the tornado threat, I'm also concerned about the damage and wind threat with this as well. Winds in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour with this storm as well. And also for our folks around Lake Village, I'm starting to watch this storm coming out of Monroe. It's kind of hooking a little bit to the right. So we're going to watch that closely, but that would affect our folks around Eudora and Lake Village later on this evening. But once again, tornado warning does continue here for our folks in Ashley County till 7:30 p.m. this evening. I don't see it. I fully expect it to be extended into Drew County, into Chico County, once this storm gets a little bit further north. And it may actually skip parts of Drew County and stay in Chico and DeShay County as we continue to move off towards the northeast.
Yep. So that's going to be the biggest thing.
And Cam, we're getting a report of the screens are not working.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a glitch on our end or if it's
I'm not sure. Everything's working fine on our end. I'm not seeing anything kind of... Okay, it may have clicked out temporarily, but everything's still running fine on our screen over here, so I'm not sure what was all that about. But this is what we've got at this point. I think, yeah, it's come back on. It's come back on. We're good now. We're good. I'm not sure what all that was about. But this is what we got at this point. So this is going to be down here in Southeastern Arkansas. Also, we got a couple of tornado warnings from Monroe now. We have two tornado warnings down here for the Monroe area at this point. And we're starting to see flash flooding beginning to set up as well. Look at all the flash warnings down here in north central Louisiana, and it's beginning to move into southeastern Arkansas. So something that we're going to monitor the situation very closely. Just keep an eye on the radar at this current time.
We have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning. This goes for Ashley and Chico counties here until 8 p.m. this evening. Severe thunderstorm located near Hamburg, moving northeast 55 miles per hour. 60 mile per hour wind gusts, nickel-sized hail, tornado possible with this storm as well. So this is a continuation of the warning that we're currently tracking. So we have a tornado warning right now in Ashley County. They've extended this to a severe thunderstorm warning on up with the storm for 60 mile per hour winds and 1 inch hail.
Yep.
Now, as this storm moves out of Ashley County into Chico County, or further northeast into Ashley County and Chico County,
possible as well.
I fully expect to see a tornado warning get expanded with this storm as well as it continues pushing off towards the northeast.
Yep. And there's a broad rotation right in here, and this is something that you're going to have to watch very closely here at this current time here. So we're gonna, like I said, we're taking a look at everything at this point. Severe thunderstorm still continues across the area. The enhanced risk is gone for much of the state at this point. Flooding will be there as well. We're just kind of taking a look at everything on our software on our screen over here. So that's going to be the biggest thing we're gonna have to watch. Tornado warning still in place until 7:30 down here in southeastern Arkansas, but don't pay attention. Well, actually, pay attention to the tornado warning, but don't solely pay attention to the tornado warning, because the severe thunderstorm warning over here is also for tornado pulse. So make sure that you're taking your tornado precautions. As I said before, the Montrose area, the Wilmot area, all of Ashley County, you need to be in shelter at this point. Montrose, you need to be in shelter. Anyone that's on Highway 82 right now, that 82 165 corridor, you need to be seeking shelter immediately as well. And Highway 65 over here. But this is the area of concern right in here. We're going to zoom this down and show you guys this graphically here. And I'm really shocked that we don't have an ongoing tornado warning for Montrose and Lake Village down here.
We'll have to see one shortly.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'd have to watch it closely and see what happens with that. But this is going to be the area of concern right in here. We're going to draw this out as well. And this is where your tornado potential is going to be. It's going to be right there, just to the west of Wilmot, or southwest of Montrose and southwest of Lake Village. And it's going to move northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So Montrose, Lake Village, take your tornado precautions immediately. Don't wait for it. Don't even attempt to try to go out and see it, because it's dark now. It's completely dark. You're not going to see this coming. There's no way you're going to see this coming, okay? Take your tornado precautions immediately. Get away from windows, put as many walls to you outside as possible. Get to the lowest area of your home immediately at this point. Severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible, continues till 8 o'clock. This is an hour-long severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado warning still remains in effect till 7:30, but I'm really shocked we haven't seen an extension with that tornado warning. I think the rotation is just too strong for this to not be tool warned. But we're going to watch the situation closely down here in the Wilmot area here, down here in Southeastern Arkansas. So what we're going to do for just a brief bit, we're going to go over to our what we call our gate-to-gate shear at this time. And there it is right there here. So you can see right in here your inbound winds. We're talking about 32 in. We've got about -8, -9 hours. So there is some evidence of rotation at this point in this area. Let's also take a look at your storm relative velocity, and there it is. So you have 63 inbound, and you have about 51 outbound. 61 outbound, 51 inbound. So there's some area of rotation down here. This is supportive of what would be a weak tornado. This is right in the middle is where you have that area of rotation kind of combined as one. So this is supportive of a weak tornado down here in Southeastern Arkansas. So take your tornado precautions immediately. Montrose, Highway 82, 165, Wilmot. Go ahead and seek shelter immediately at this current time. What you got for me there?
All right, so we are continuing to monitor multiple different aspects around the state right now. Most thing I'm seeing across parts of the state is flooding issues in northeast Arkansas.
Yeah.
Again, we've already had a tornado in Arkansas today that was around Jetsonville.
Yeah.
Another possible one. In Union County this morning. And again, we have a storm that's moving through southeast Arkansas right now that has a history of producing tornadoes throughout Louisiana throughout the evening. And now this is moving this is moving into Arkansas now and continuing to push northeast again. And that is the National Weather Service in Little Rock extending that warning for their warning area as well.
Yeah. So that's the biggest thing here. We can take a look. There's our screen over here.
So I do want to address something else really fast. I'm getting a lot of comments, asking about this town, my town, this area of the state, that area of the state. Folks, enhanced risk continues for the rest of the night. Tornado watch continues until 9 p.m. Nobody's severe threat is not over. It's not over by a long shot. We've mentioned this on our live streams throughout the last few days.
Yeah, a million times.
There will be a lull between round 1 and round 2. That's what, if you're quiet right now, that's what you're going to hear. You're going to have a lull in the activity, round 2. Let's zoom out and show our statewide view really, really fast.
Yeah.
I want to reiterate this. We have a second round coming in. This is going to come in. This is going to strengthen as it moves out of Oklahoma this evening and into Arkansas.
Yeah.
The enhanced risk remains. Tornado threat remains. Wind threat remains. Hail threat remains. This is an ongoing severe threat that will last through much of the evening and into the overnight hours.
That's the biggest.
So I want to reiterate that once again. I know we've said it time and time again, but I want to reiterate it once again. We're not going to get to everybody's questions because there is ongoing tornado warnings.
We told you guys that too. We told you guys that too. This is the reason why we tell you guys days in advance, day 4, day 5, because this is what happens on day 1. Everybody's trying to ask questions and we can't get to them because we have ongoing warnings. This is the reason why we tell you guys days in advance. We try to get to you guys early before day 1, because once you get here, you're dealing with warnings. So right now, this is taking priority at this point. If you need information, we have a Discord server, we have information on the page and stuff like that. I get it. I know anxiety's through the roof right now, guys, okay? Yep. But we cannot get to every single body's question. It's going to frustrate a lot of people, and it's fine. I understand. But we can't do it. It's physically impossible at this point. our attention right now goes to southeastern Arkansas with this tornado warning, and then we're going to monitor northwestern Arkansas. But keep that in mind for future severe events. When we talk about it day 4 and day 5, that's the time to ask questions. That's the time to get the information. Don't wait till day 1, because day 1 you're not going to get the information because everybody else is trying to get it at the exact same time. So with that being said, let's go back down to southeastern Arkansas at this point, and there's that severe thunderstorm warning. Did they make that tour pause, or is it a regular severe thunderstorm warning? It's a regular severe thunderstorm warning. It's going to go for 60-mile-per-hour winds with this. But the other one is going to continue for tornado possible for Ashley and Chico County. So just kind of watch the situation closely at this point. Down here at this time here, I see they still continuing the tornado warning down here for Ashley County. It's going to go until 7:30 this evening. It's moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So keep that in mind at this point. There's your wall of rain beginning to set up across southeastern Arkansas as well. I'll be very interested to see how this is going to play out. So far, with all the rainfall we've seen today, it hasn't really affected all the instability at all. So it'd be very interesting to see what happens with this, but a flame brick will definitely be there at this current time here. But we're going to keep an eye on it.
Let's look at the radar here again. Look at we have what we call a bookend vortice forming.
Yeah, right there.
Forming on this, and this is what we call a bookend vortice, basically on a line of storms. The back end kind of the common head. So instead of getting a typical tornado, will get your best shear instability and your best dynamics on the southeastern side.
Yeah.
Well, these get their dynamics on the southwest side. That's a strong air storm wrapping into itself, and this can produce a tornado as it wraps in. And I will not be shocked. This is why they keep a tornado possible tag on this super thunderstorm warning, because this storm has a history of producing tornadoes. It's been warned now for going on about 4 hours coming out of Louisiana and into Arkansas. And again, I would not be shocked to see this warning continue.
Yep.
Again, tornado warning continues for our folks here southeast of Crossett. This does include Crossett, and it includes Hamburg, and it's just to the southwest of Montrose right now.
I wouldn't be shocked
again, Crossett,
additional
this
warning.
is moving away from Crossett right now.
Yep.
Just for a couple more minutes. Let's stay in your safe place just to be sure.
Yep.
Behind this, it's going to get windy. I know it's going to get windy, but those winds will calm down because what that is southerly winds coming in behind this as the second wave is approaching. You have a deepening low pressure currently in Kansas and Oklahoma that's going to move northeast. You have a low-level jet coming in.
Yep.
That's increasing your shear for the second round of event as we head into the overnight hours.
Yeah. So like I said before, this is not over with just yet, guys. Just want to stress this real fast here. And also, we're still monitoring northwestern Arkansas. So therefore, we're kind of running all over the place today, guys. We're monitoring southeastern Arkansas and northwestern Arkansas. So don't feel like we're not addressing anybody in your state, anybody in your area. Okay, we don't ignore anyone or avoid anyone, anything like that. We're just running around right now because we're having to cover northwest Arkansas, southwest Arkansas, central, southeast, northeastern Arkansas, across the entire state. So we're going to get to you eventually, but it's going to be a patience game with this event. Okay, so severe thunderstorm warning up here, northwestern Arkansas. We got a tornado warning down here as well for that Interstate 40 area. Right now, Fort Smith, you're hanging a little high, but watch it closely. If another tornado warning does get issued closer to Arkansas, we will jump on top. We will jump on that situation. But for right now, at this moment, this is where our attention is going to be down here in southeastern Arkansas, where the tornado warning is. It's going to go till 7:30 this evening. Another, I'd say, 20-ish minutes from now, it's going to be moving into this area here. So make sure you're taking your tornado precautions. Montrose, watch this closely. I would not be shocked, by the way, if another tornado warning got issued right there. I wouldn't be shocked. Let's go ahead and take a look at your rotation. And there it is. I mean, really, really concerned about this area near Montrose. Montrose, go ahead and seek your tornado precautions. Don't wait for a tornado warning or anything like that. Go ahead and seek your tornado safe spot right now. Treat that severe thunderstorm warning as if it were a tornado warning at this point, because of the fact that it's showing significant amount of rotation coming into this area here. So I'm really shocked that there's not one. They may be coordinating to build one right in this area, but right now for Montrose, just go ahead and get to your safe spot. If you know anyone that's on Highway 165 over here, Southeastern Arkansas, go ahead and tell them to take your go ahead and get to your safe spots. If you're driving right now, find a gas station, or you can get to Montrose real quick, get into a grocery store, something like that very, very quickly, because this storm is moving to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So make sure you are taking your tornado precautions immediately at this time here. And also we're watching these other storms as well. Go ahead.
And again, let's zoom in.
Yep.
Let's zoom in on this area cam here in Ashland County. Again, that
right there.
Highway 81. Highway 8.
Yeah.
Again, Highway 165.
That's gonna be 82. That's 165.
Yeah.
And that's
so this is
65.
gonna cross. This is gonna cross areas here in between Portland and Hamburg soon. Now again, you have 65 to 70 mile per hour winds right now with this storm. Again, if there's not a tornado with the storm, you're definitely gonna have very strong, damaging winds coming into areas of Chico County, Drew County, and even on up towards DeShay County here very, very soon.
Yep. So kind of giving a perspective on that. So that's about 134 mile per hour winds with this particular potential system. So it's going to be right in here. That's where your area of rotation is. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's show you guys that area of rotation here. So this is what we mean right here. At this point, we're going to have this up, and this is what we're talking about. Okay, so this is right in here. So 63 outgoing, and then we have about 60 incoming here. So you can see that area of rotation, and it's about 134 right in the middle of that. Okay, so that's the combination of the two. This would be a tornado at this point, and yeah, power outages are happening too down there in Southeast Arkansas. So I would be very concerned down there. Yeah. So there it is. There's another thunderstorm warning down here. They haven't put a tornado warning down here just yet. I don't know if they're gonna let it expire or not. I think this severe thunderstorm warning tool possible cover it, but I would be very concerned if you're in that Highway 82 to 165 corridor at this current time here. We're gonna continue to monitor the situation closely here. Go ahead, there.
All right. So once again, let's go over everything. If you live in Crossett, if you can hear the sound of my voice, you are now in the clear of this storm.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing. So this is the thing. Crossett, you're now in the clear. You can come out of shelter at least temporarily. Now, this will be the first round of storm. The second round of storms will come in later, late tonight. It's still in Oklahoma, Texas.
Yep.
We're talking well after 3 a.m. in the morning. So again, our current tornado watch down here in Southeast Arkansas is at 3 a.m. Would not be shocked to see it expanded. Probably 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning as we get a little bit closer. Now, that being said, for our folks in Montrose, our folks in
Lake Village,
our folks in Hamburg, this is past just to your east now. Stay in shelter here for a few more minutes.
it's gonna be very windy.
It's going to be a very windy at the worst, because you got wind of 60 to 70 miles per hour coming through this area as it continues to push off towards the northeast. Extensive wind damage is likely with this area of storms as it continues to push off towards the northeast here at about 60 to 70 miles per hour.
Yeah, and you can see there it is right there. So it's loading up here in just minutes. You may want to give it some time. But there's the inbound winds right there here, guys. There's the winds, that downdraft wind gust potential right in here. We're talking easily upwards to 60 to 70 miles per hour within this area here. So make sure that you're in your safe spots, guys. Biggest thing I want to stress is, regardless of the tornado threat, there will be a damaging wind threat with this, and you will experience some power outages down here as well. And I'm looking at our number right now, 6,803 customers currently without power down here in Southeastern Arkansas and across the state. So there's a lot of people that are not being able to tune in because of the power outage issue and stuff like that here. So for those folks, just make sure you have a game plan ready to go for the rest of your evening. We are not done, guys, okay? Until you see a graphic from us saying it's an all clear, we're done, we're good to go,
Yep.
We're not done just yet, guys. It's going to be a long, tiring night. It's going to be filled with, a lot of people being, anxious, trying to figure out what's going to be happening. Stay with us, guys. Stay patient with us. We're going to get through this together. It ain't our first rodeo. It ain't going to be our last. So we're going to get you guys through this, okay? But the severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible, by the way, continues until 8 o'clock. This is a regular severe thunderstorm warning, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Still watch it because you're going to have some high winds on the north side of this system. And then down here, tornado possible as well. That's an extension of the tornado possible coming out from the north of Louisiana into southeastern Arkansas at this point. So from Jerome, Montrose, Hamburg, take your tornado precautions immediately at this time. What are you seeing over there?
Not getting any report of any damage so far out of southeast Arkansas. So that's a very good thing. However, our flooding risk is increasing. Looking at storms coming out of western Arkansas or eastern Oklahoma as well. These storms are. We have one tornado warning in effect. We have a few special weather statements in effect. What I'm noticing is that they seem to have a hard time keeping going right now. That could be a good thing. Now maybe what we want to see is that there may be a little bit too much of a capping version behind this first round that could slowly limit a little bit of the severe threat with the second round. However, I'm not letting my guard down, and neither should you, because this is going to be an ongoing threat through much of the evening hours. And again, we have lots of storm coverage around the state.
A lot of heavy rainfall up here in the Boone
Lots
region.
of heavy rainfall. All I'm doing now is waiting to see if our warning is going to get extended here in parts of southeast Arkansas or not.
Yeah, and I'll be very curious to see what they're going to end up doing with that. So, regardless, that tornado warning still remains in effect. You got another tornado warning, 7-4. That's along Interstate 40 over here, and western Arkansas, just to the west of Fort Smith at this point, moving northeast at about 43 miles per hour. So, what I'm going to do for just a temporary bit, I'm going to see what's going on with this storm over here in western Arkansas. Let's go ahead and take a look at it for just a second. And then we're going to jump right back to southeastern Arkansas. So I'm not taking anything away from southeastern Arkansas at all. Coverage still continues for everybody across the state. But for our folks over here in Fort Smith, I want to kind of take a look at some things over here at this point. That tornado warning still in place over here. They dropped the severe thunderstorm warning. It's now just a tornado warning over here near Stigler. Right in here. There's your area of rotation right there with this storm here. It's a cell all by itself. And like Derek mentioned before, and this could be a really good thing for us here in Arkansas. There's the area of rotation. That's why it's torn. I'd say Marble City, South Saw over here, along Interstate 40, you will probably see the extension of the tornado warning that may go for portions of Crawford County. So Crawford County, watch the situation closely. But there is some good news. If that first round left behind what we call subsidence or kind of, a capping aversion in place, that may help keep these storms from realizing their full potential. And I know the first thing somebody's going to say, oh, it's a bust. We've had 3 events before this event that didn't do anything. You guys are just panicking everybody. No, that's not the case at all. Okay? Severe weather, in my honest opinion, is meant to bust. It's meant because I don't think anybody would like to see, houses destroyed and stuff like that. So if you don't see it, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. We did our best keeping you guys prepared for the latest and stuff like that. But if it doesn't happen, that's gravy. That's awesome. Okay, but that's the biggest thing at this point here. And okay, now that is new tornado warning. So this one has been extended for right here. So yeah, that one got extended over here. But they're still continuing. I think they're going to do for that. They're going to let that tornado warning expire down here in Ashley County. And they're going to let the severe thunderstorm warning tornado possible.
And we're going to, if this one drops, we're going to switch coverage to West Arkansas. Because this one is tracking due east now into Fort Smith. Also, with the storm coming into Fort Smith, we have reports of 84 mile per hour wind gust.
Oh wow!
With that storm.
That's crazy.
So that's something we're going to have to watch as that continues to move. To move into parts of Arkansas here soon. And again, no extension of the warning for our folks in Ashley County.
Right.
Hamburg, cross it. You are in the clear of that storm. However, if you live upstream,
that booking voice.
If you live upstream in Montrose, you need to be in your safe place right now. Again, no tornado warning in effect, but very strong winds, 60 to 70 mile per hour winds as well. Dermont,
I was gonna say I'm really surprised they are keeping this severe thunderstorm warning. That would normally qualify as a tornado warning. Because look at that, there's your outbound. You're at 63 outbound, and you're right at 60, about 60 inbound. So very, very questionable call with this. Regardless of if it being a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning, you need to be seeking shelter immediately. Honestly, this should be passing off as a tornado warning, but I do see their reasoning. It has a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. The biggest reason I would say is probably due to the fact that there's no debris being picked up, but I want to kind of urge caution with this. This is a very rural area down here in Southeastern Arkansas. It's very flat down here as well. You don't have trees. You don't have everything that you would normally see, in Western Arkansas or something like that. So it may not be kicking up a lot of debris out here. So something I would watch very closely. Good news is, like I said before, there's no evidence of it producing a tornado as of like debris indicator or anything like that. But the rotation is definitely there. Hence the reason why it's tornado possible. So that's why you can't notice a thunderstorm warning. You gotta seek shelter immediately at the secure timing. So I think they're gonna let that one go.
And that warning, Ashley County,
has
been dropped.
It's gone. So,
right.
so
let's shift our focus.
Let's go back over here to Western Arkansas.
So Southeast Arkansas, we are not forgetting about you, but you now have some thunderstorm warnings with 60 to 70 mile per hour wind threat there. We're shifting our focus here to our folks in Fort Smith because right now this warning is in effect. So now this warning here is in effect for our folks just to the west of Fort Smith, and this is moving. This is moving towards the east northeast here at 40 miles per hour, and this goes until 8 p.m. this evening. That's
really the biggest thing at this point here, guys. Also, I'm trying to check with a lot of family and friends down there, making sure they're okay down here. So there's area for a rotation here near Tomahawk down here in eastern Oklahoma, northeastern Oklahoma, just to the southwest of Interstate 40 at this point. Okay, this is going to be moving to the east. So there's the tornado warning. Let's go ahead and talk to you guys about this tornado warning. It's outside of the state for right now. However, we're going to continue to live because it's just knocking on the doorstep of Fort Smith. So this is moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour here. So we're going to put a track on this storm here. And give me 1 second. There's the track. It's going to be right here. And we're going to put this to the north and east at about 40 miles per hour. So there it is. It's going to be right here. And there's the track. So Tomahawk and Southsaw over here in northeastern Oklahoma. And this is going to eventually make its way into Crawford County. I want to stress that right now for our folks in Crawford County. Do not let your guard down with this storm at all. This is going to go right over Highway 220 over here, Highway 59 as well, and it's going to cross over Highway 101 over here in northeastern Oklahoma and far northwestern Arkansas, which is going to include Crawford County. So the Mountainburg area, the Alma area, watch this closely. Remember what I said earlier in this live stream. Be proactive. Be proactive. That's the thing. You gotta be proactive. You gotta react early. That way, you're good to go when a warning does get issued for your area. So, what you got for me over there?
All right. So far we have the only warning. There are no warnings in the state at this time. Our next area we are watching is our folks in Crawford and Sebastian County.
Yep.
This storm is about 45 minutes out from being warned if it stays warm. The National Weather Service in Tulsa has said the environment downstream remains highly conducive for tornado genesis or continuance throughout much of the evening hours. So again, Northwest Arkansas, we're not done yet.
Yep.
This is round 2. This is the round that we were really worried about that could be a little bit more widespread. However, so far it seems to be a little bit more isolated than what was originally anticipated.
Yep. And I don't know if that's you can make an argument to see if that's really a good thing or a bad thing, because they say isolated, they'll have more of a chance to kind of tap into the environment, while if they were more into a cluster, then you would be dealing with more of a damaging wind and a tornado threat. So it's kind of it's like a double-edged sword. It's really good and it's also really bad at this point. So those areas right there along Interstate 40 right now, is going to go right into western Crawford County at this point. Mountainburg right now, I'd watch the situation very closely, and like I said before, be proactive. Make sure that you have that game plan ready to go. That way, if a tornado warning happens, you're not waiting, you're not doing anything else. You're ready to go. You're ready to go in the shelter and be there when we tell you to go ahead and go. So make sure that's the case at this point. Elsewhere across the state, to kind of bring the anxiety level down a little bit, because a lot of people are kind of concerned about what's going on. This is our current radar at this point for our folks over here in Western Arkansas. Multiple storms going up across this area here. First and foremost, just kind of looking at everything right now, that tells me that you do have what we call subsidence in place. And a lot of people don't know what that means. Basically, you see this a lot behind tropical systems. It's not a tropical system by any stretch of the matter. I want to make that clear right now. But you see this a lot in the summertime, in the tropics, where you have this system come through, and there's a lot of what we call sinking air, a lot of warm air advection kind of in place here, and that may be putting a lid on these storms from really going up. Like I mentioned before, if this ends up being a bust, it's a blessing, because it could have been a whole lot worse than what we were originally anticipating here. I know 3 events so far has been this way, and that's awesome. That means Arkansas has gotten away from this for 3 times. But today's event, we've had tornadoes. We've had Jesseville, the tornado in Jesseville. Northland, potential tornado there. And there's still going to be some other areas of concern. We're going to watch Southeast Arkansas as well. But we are not done as of right now. Okay, so please continue to monitor us for updates. Do not unplug throughout the overnight hours. Keep that weather radio on, because we are not done until this front clears out of the area here, and it's got a lot to clear out before we get into tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon here. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So one thing about it is, so now that we have a chance to actually let's just breathe a minute, relax, and just realize, hey, we do have some thunderstorm warnings here in Southeast Arkansas, Ashley, Chico, Drew, and Deshae counties. Again, this is for 60-mile-per-hour winds and large hail. There is no tornado warning in effect at this time there. We have flash flooding in northeast Arkansas.
Yep.
Right now, this is where a greater threat for flash flooding. We've seen 4 to 7 inches of rain so far in northeast Arkansas. We've seen in Louisiana, we've seen 4 to 6 inches of rain in Louisiana as well, with this system coming out of Louisiana. One thing about it is, it seems like the flash flood threat has kind of overseeded the tornado threat, and we love to see it. We hate to see it, but we love to see it all at the same time, because you don't want to see a tornado outbreak, especially just after the holidays. Everybody getting ready to go back. Yes, have we had a tornado or 2 today? Yes. Have we had the extension that we normally would have expected? No. Again, the biggest question,
it's still not over.
But it's still not over yet by any means.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, we're seeing a lot of questions about when the tornado watch expires, will it be safe to go to bed? We fully expect an extension of the tornado watch past 9 o'clock for Central Arkansas.
Yep.
Central, Southwest, into Northeast Arkansas. Fully expect to see that watch extended.
I'm gonna stop you for just a second. This is the reason why we're telling you guys we're not done yet. Back out here in eastern Texas and eastern Oklahoma, this is what we call the significant tornado parameters at this point. We're gonna kind of take a look at it while we have that breather right now. You still have 2s and 3s and stuff like that. Here in Arkansas, not so bad as of now, but this is affecting eastward. We're not done, folks. We are not done just yet. We are still continuing to monitor the situation. It's 7 o'clock right now. We're just at the doorstep of this event. We've got to get through all tonight, all day, all tonight, and into the first part of your Tuesday morning. Okay, so we're not done yet. But the biggest thing I want to stress too, I know everybody's tornado. Severe weather is not tornado or nothing. It's not, and it should never be that way. Notice what's going on down here in Monroe. You now have a flash flood warning, considerable damage threat down here. Flooding has been the #1 thing that's being ignored, and it should not be ignored with this event. You're having life-threatening flash flooding in Monroe right now. I consider that severe weather. That is severe weather at this point. So keep that in mind here, guys. Okay, it's not just tornado or nothing. It's the high wind threat, and it's also the flooding threat that you have to contend with as well. Fortunately, outside of northeastern Arkansas, we're not really seeing a whole lot of flooding across Arkansas at this point. It's been mainly down in Louisiana, but it doesn't mean that the threat's over with. We're gonna have to contend with the flooding threat as we get towards late tonight and early part of your Tuesday morning before this gets over with. But right now, we're just kind of taking a deep breathe right now, kind of recollecting, and we're monitoring this tornado warning just to the west of Fort Smith at this point here. What you got from me, Derek?
All right. So once again, folks, just to reiterate what's going around the state, We have snowstorm warnings for Chico, DeShay, and Drew counties now until 7:45 p.m. This evening. Damaging winds, 60 mile per hour. Also getting a little bit of power outage issues with that line of storms in Southeast Arkansas. Also, we do have a flooding, a flash flood, multiple flash flood warnings across much of northeast Arkansas, and this continues to be a primary risk for the evening hours, along with the tornado damaging wind threats. The reason being is because we have so much moisture in the air. It's humid, it's unstable. It's just, if you were outside today, it was muggy, it was wet. You just have a lot of ingredients there for both a flash flood threat and a severe weather threat as we head throughout the nighttime hours.
Yep.
And again, if you live in a flood-prone area, a low-lying area, something we haven't really had a chance to address much, if you live in that type of environment, you need to have a way to take shelter or go to higher ground in the event of flash flooding.
Yep. So I'm just reading the latest information here, and right now at this particular moment, they're continuing. The tornado watch is going to go until 9 o'clock this evening. That's going to be the biggest thing here. So far as of today, and give you guys a kind of rundown on today, we've had 3 wind reports. 3 of them have been hail reports, and we've had 2 tornado reports so far here. So that as of right now, we can take a look and see where those where those have been at this point here. But the biggest thing is, guys, we've had those reports, so we're gonna have to watch the situation closely. Okay. Okay, so that's we're up there. So they're starting to get severe weather up there as well. But the biggest thing is, guys, don't let your guard down tonight. Okay, a lot of people are asking, when can we go to bed? When is it over? When is it over? We told you guys this 2 days ago that this was gonna be an evening and into an overnight threat. Sometimes you gotta pay attention at this point. Okay, so that's the biggest thing at this time here, guys. Bear with us. I know it's going to be tough. A lot of people got to go back to work tomorrow and stuff like that. If you need to go to bed, which is fine, make sure this bad boy and your weather radio is on. That way, if a warning goes out, something like that, you can jump up, you can immediately take action and stuff like that here, okay? But we do get it. A lot of people got to go back to work and stuff like that tomorrow and everything like that. We go back to normal tomorrow after all the holiday stuff. But we still have a severe threat we got to contend with at this point. So we're still monitoring this tornado warning here. Right now, it's just to the west of the state. Crawford County continue to monitor this storm. It does appear, I would say, that it's trying to make a run more for Washington. Okay. Okay, so it's going to go for Louisiana at this point. So that one is going to be down here in Louisiana here. But this one right here, there's tornado warning over here. I would say it's moving more towards northwestern Crawford and southwestern Washington versus more directly in the Crawford County. So Crawford County, I'm going to continue to monitor it. Let's go ahead and take a look at your rotation indicator right now here. And there it is right there. So it's going to be just to the southwest of Interstate 40 right there. And there's your tornado warning. Just knocking on the door of Fort Smith. It's not technically in downtown Fort Smith. As of right now, it's just kind of on that outside edge. But Roland, also over here towards Mildrow, over here in northeastern Oklahoma, along Interstate 40, taking tornado precautions meeting. There's the area of rotation, the area of concern for the potential senior tornado is going to be near Tamaha or just to the southwest of Interstate 40, moving northeast at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. Crawford, Washington counties continue to monitor this storm here. Go ahead.
Yep.
What you got?
All right. So once again, folks, as we mentioned, severe weather has definitely. We've seen a lot of rainfall today, and again, compared to the drought that we had starting the year in the surplus, is going to be a great thing for the state. Again, we're kind of waiting to see how everything's going to line up. Our system is still a little bit west of the state. It still has to move in. The question is going to be how much instability can form behind that first round, and we had more rain, more storms form behind that first round. And so the ongoing question is going to be is how severe will those storms be as they move deeper into the state. We expect a lot of storms to form at the minimum as we head into the overnight hours, which will increase your damage and wind risk. but the tornado threat does remain as the storm predicts center mentioned. Enhanced risk does continue for the entire state this evening.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is, and like I said before, I'm seeing a lot, about, this risk was, overhyped and stuff like that, and everything like that. Folks, I want to stress something to you. Severe weather, especially for our side over here, we don't like forecasting it. We don't like telling you guys about severe weather. Winter weather, outside of the travel, it's not really that bad because you can predict snow and ice a lot better than you ever could with severe weather. Severe weather, you're never going to predict it 100% no matter how good you are. So the biggest thing is, if you don't see it tonight, consider yourself blessed. We're not done. This threat is still continuing, but I will say this. I think round number 1, and we talked about this morning, round number 1 has really helped us out. It has really helped us out. It didn't kill the risk completely. It didn't do what we were hoping it would have done in terms of completely killing the risk, because you still have tornado warnings on the backside of it, which means it didn't get the job done. But it did do enough to hopefully wane the tornado threat from being much more significant than it could have been. Keep in mind, we're at 7 o'clock in the evening. By 1 o'clock in the morning, we could be talking about a completely different setup. Yep. So keep that in mind. We got to get this into Arkansas. The slower that it takes to get into Arkansas, the worse it's going to get. We need this to speed up and get out of here quickly if we want to manage not seeing a big-time tornado threat. Because the longer it takes to get here, the substance that's remaining in place is going to erode away. Because naturally, your atmosphere cools off this late at night. This is why you needed a warning rain as well. So, with that being said, with that substance start to erode away, you can see tornadoes as late as the overnight hours if this doesn't speed up. So monitor the situation closely, guys. Like I said before, I know everybody's anxiety is through the roof and stuff like that, but severe weather at this point is still on the table. We are not done. We are not done just yet. It's 7 o'clock. And we have not thrown a white flag on this event just yet. We're still continuing to monitor it. Fort Smith, Crawford County, Washington County, watch the storm closely. We're going to continue to blast and just kind of keep going. I will address down here in Southeastern Arkansas. By the way, you have a new tornado warning down here in Monroe. Those poor folks down there in Monroe, they've been taking a beating down here. By the way, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible now, just to the south of Ashley County. Yep. So we're going to have to monitor that closely as well. But for our folks in Monroe, I mean, they've taken a beating this season, where we had just, I think, two or 3 weeks ago before our Arctic blast, they had a tornado down there. They had a tornado near Fort Farmerville. Northeast Louisiana has not caught a break from severe weather here. So that's the biggest thing down here. Southeastern Arkansas as well, actually in Chico County. You guys have been seeing that. Tornado possible still remains in place until 8 o'clock for North Chico County, Northeastern Ashley down here. But this one down here, like I said, as a matter of fact, let's go ahead while we're waiting on that storm to kind of cook over there in northwestern Arkansas. Let's take a look at this. And this is going to be the cell that is coming out of the Monroe area. And it is producing flash flooding, by the way. Life-threatening flooding is ongoing in the Monroe area here. We've had significant flash flooding down here in the Monroe area. So we're going to monitor the situation pretty closely. We're going to go over to our radar, which should be pulling up here in just a little bit. But your radar is going to come up here in just a second. And there it is right there. So there's the area of rotation right in here. Let's go ahead and take a look at our rotation indicator. So I'm really shocked that it's not warned. I'm really, really shocked that's not warned right there in Jerome and Dermont and the McGee area. If you know anybody in this area, continue to take good tornado precautions at this point, okay? Like I said before, we're not forgetting about anybody in the state. Just monitor this closely, okay? Now, down here in Louisiana, south of Monroe, I mean, you guys are just, boy, you're getting some significant flooding down here in the Monroe area. So kind of keep that in mind. And then you have that severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible. It's going to go until 8:30. Mainly in Louisiana right now. It's just to the south of Ashley and Chico County, but it's going to continue to advance to the north and east.
All right, so once again, watching the storm just to the west of Fort Smithville again. That storm is still exhibiting signs of rotation, but not as strong as it once was. However, that being said, we are continuing to watch each one of these storms across the state right now. Again, We have a lot of storms around the state. Most of them are not severe.
Yep.
Severe at this time.
Matter of fact, I'm going to take a look at this real fast here. Like I said, while we have the time and place, let's go ahead and take a couple of things, looking at a couple of things. I know that court is a nightmare. Let's take a look at this, and this is what we call the. I'm gonna look at the 850 millibar temperature, and this is the biggest reason why this has kind of been at a somewhat of a standstill for us here in Arkansas. So it's gonna be popping up here in just a little bit. But basically, what's going on is a lot of warm air advection in the state. Okay. Somewhat that we were expecting because of the massive moisture return we had with the system here. Now, a lot of people are asking, why didn't this go moderate? A lot of questions in terms of the storm mode, in terms of what risk was going to overpower the other. Was it going to be mainly a tornado or mainly a damaging wind? In my honest opinion, I think Storm Prediction Center did a excellent job at holding back the moderate risk and keeping this an enhanced. This is a really good enhanced risk setup. This is not a moderate risk setup. Moderate risk setups are often a lot worse than what we're looking at right now. So this is a really good enhanced risk. It's doing pretty good in terms of the development and everything like that here, but we're still not through this just yet. But I know a lot of people were kind of wondering, why didn't this go moderate? Why didn't it go moderate? They should have went moderate with this. I was against it almost the entire time. I'm telling you, I think we would have been great in gravy with a solid enhanced risk with this event as well here. So just kind of taking a look at everything right now. I'm going to go back over to Little Rock's radar, give everybody kind of a statewide view on what's going on. Kind of put some minds to ease right now at this point. And we got a lot of shower thunderstorms ready to be across western Arkansas. This is round 2 beginning to come in. It's going to be loud. Some of these storms are going to be loud. They're going to be capable of producing some gusty winds, some heavy rainfall and stuff like that. But the biggest thing is round 1 really helped us out with this event. It's not done at this point, but we're going to watch the situation. Coach, what you got for me?
This is from the National Weather Service in Tulsa. Reports of a tornado with the cell northwest of Salisaw near McKee. Movement in northeast will impact areas around Brushy, Aiken, Stony Point, and US 59. This is in Oklahoma.
Okay, so it's going to be this cell right here.
This is as of 1 minute ago.
Okay, so we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that's just been issued for Arkansas here. So it should be popping up here in just a little bit. I do believe it's going to be an extension of that down there in Southeastern Arkansas here. But we're monitoring this tornado warning very closely near the Fort Smith area at this time. Giving you guys a statewide view of what's going on. I mean, a complete mess that you're looking at. A lot of heavy thunderstorms and shower thunderstorms out here in Southeastern Arkansas, up here in Northeastern Arkansas as well. This is beginning to develop. This is your second wave coming in. Like I said, it'd be very interesting to see what happens with this. I think round number 1 really helped us out with this event, and once again, Arkansas. This is the third time. This is the third time that this would have happened. That going into the event, we were thinking one thing, we came out with an awesome outcome. Obviously, we're not done. Look at all the instability still out here towards the west. This has to come east before the system is out of here. So we're not done just yet. I don't want to throw the white flag with this and then get into the overnight hours and we're talking a completely different situation. So monitor it, keep an eye on it. If it gets out of here with no issues, that is going to be awesome. That's going to be gravy. But if we do have issues, we're going to be here. We'll keep you guys updated on that here. So you're getting some reports from the Fort Smith area, and there's severe thunderstorm warning. It's going to go for McGee, Arkansas City, and Tiller over there until 8:30. Mainly a wind and hail threat with that. It's going to be down there in southeastern Arkansas.
And this is a severe thunderstorm warning for the Shea County and Drew County until 8:30 p.m. this evening. So severe thunderstorm looking over Dermot moving northeast at 45 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-sized hail. And of course, the one thing that they reiterate with this, the tornado watch does remain in effect until 3 a.m. for southeast Arkansas.
Yep. So that's going to be the biggest thing at this point, guys. We're still watching that tornado watch at this point. Let's go ahead and zoom out and show you guys that tornado watch at this time here. So this is this whole tornado watch at this point. Everybody is set for the far northeastern corner. That does include Jonesboro and stuff like that. Everybody else is in the tornado watch. This one's gonna go until 10 p.m. up here in northwestern Arkansas. This one is gonna go until 9 o'clock for much of the area, and then in southeastern Arkansas it's gonna go until 3 a.m. Now, I do believe they are going to extend this watch.
Yep.
I do believe they're going to do it because your system is still out towards the west. You can still have an environment capable of producing tornadoes and stuff like that throughout the overnight hours. What's up? What you got?
All right, let's go back to Montrose, Arkansas.
Yeah, right.
I'm getting reports from multiple different areas on social media of a damaging tornado. 18-wheeler overturned and damaged to structures on Highway 82 on the west side of Montrose earlier.
It's going to be with this.
That's going to be it right there.
That's going to be it.
Again, not seeing any. Again, National Weather in Jackson has not issued a tornado warning for this, but I'm now getting multiple reports on social media of that possibility.
Yeah, and like I said before, I know the National Service offices are doing an awesome job trying to keep up just as much as us we were doing here, and I do get why they did do a severe thunderstorm warning tornado possible with this. I do feel as though they should have gotten away with a tornado warning, but here's the thing: when it's severe thunderstorm warning tornado possible, things like that can occur. That's why that tornado possible is in that severe thunderstorm warning to account for that potential of a tornado. So keep that in mind here, guys. That's why we tell you guys so much. Remember, look at this. This is not a red box or anything like that. It's not screaming at you tornado. It's a severe thunderstorm warning, but it has that tornado in there. So make sure that you're paying attention. You're staying weather aware. You're staying aware of your surroundings as well here. But honestly, I see what you're talking about here, and I'm really not surprised about our report because this has significant rotation. Okay, so there's now we've got new severe thunderstorm warnings coming out from Oklahoma as well here. So that's going to be the biggest thing right now, guys. We're monitoring the situation. I'm real curious after that reports came out if they put a tornado warning for DeShay County. I have to kind of keep an eye on that at this point. I know there's another tornado warning down there in Monroe. We've got one near Fort Smith at this point.
All right, so the one in Monroe has been canceled as well.
Okay.
So once again, we have a tornado warning here just west of Fort Smith. Tulsa has said that one has been confirmed.
Okay.
So again, I'm getting reports of damage out of Montrose as well. But again, that has not been tornado warning. So once again, I want to reiterate this. We have several different things going on around the state, waiting for further confirmation of damage, but is getting several reports of damage out of Chico County where that storm crossed. But once again, no tornado warnings in effect yet for Arkansas yet. We're watching these come out of Oklahoma into Arkansas, mostly northwest Arkansas right now. If this stays north of I-40, that's great.
Yep.
However, I just keep waiting on the bottom half of this line to fire up.
Fire off. And I don't know. I think what's going on right now is, like I said before, you have a lot of substance in place from round number 1 that came through earlier on. And like I said, it's not a bad thing. This is awesome for us not to see anything with this. Give me 1 second, guys. I had a radars decided to just absolutely crash on me, so give me a second. We're gonna get that back up and running. But the biggest thing, guys, is just making sure that you have that place. Yeah, we're all tired, and our radar's tired over here. So that's the biggest thing, guys. Making sure you stay with us and everything like that. We're gonna get this back up and running, so don't worry about that at all. And as I said before, there's a tornado warning over there just to the west of Fort Smith. Bear with it for just a bit. We're going to get this up and going here in just a second. And it's going to be right in here, okay? So there's the area of rotation right here just to the west of Fort Smith. Tornado warning still remains in effect until 8 o'clock. I'll be real curious to see what they're going to end up doing with that. There's severe thunderstorm warning, 60-mile-per-hour wind, 1-inch hail. By the way, you're getting hail reports now out here. So that tells me your lapse rates are really good, and that tells me you have cold air aloft. You finally have cold air aloft beginning to come into the area. That's something that we need to monitor as we get towards night, because the longer we draw this out, the more your environment's going to become colder and colder and colder, and that's where it's going to be supportive of seeing overnight tornadoes. So we're not done just yet. You got to stay with this. I know it's been a tiring day. Everybody woke up, they've been hearing tornado all day long. Stay with us, guys. We're going to be here. We're going to keep you guys updated on the latest situation, okay? So Flash flooding ongoing up here in northeastern Arkansas as well. It's going to go till 9:45. We've had multiple reports of flash flooding in Piggott. Up to 2 inches of rainfall have already fallen. Up to 2 inches or more could be over the next couple of hours here. Flooding caused by heavy rainfall, which is the biggest thing that we've been talking about as well. So the Perigo area, the Piggott area, the Corny area, also Crawley's Ridge State Park, all those areas. Make sure that you are turning around and you do not drown. The flooding threat is definitely there with the system. It's not as widespread as you would think it would be for a flooding situation, but with all the recent heavy rainfall we've had, that's where you're getting the flooding situation.
I need to address something really fast because we have a lot of people freaking out. There's no tornado warning for Little Rock. Somebody in the comments reported there was a tornado heading right for Little Rock. There's no warnings in effect at this time. It's literally only a tornado watch. If there's something headed for Little Rock, we will be the first to let you know.
Yeah.
Right now, there are no warnings in effect. No tornado warnings in effect in Little Rock.
Yeah.
Not even a thunderstorm warning in effect for Little Rock.
Yes,
it may get windy, but there's no tornado warning. There is no tornado warning in effect for Little Rock. I want to reiterate that.
Yeah, and guys, and I'm gonna address that too. Please do not do false reports in the comments, guys. Everybody's anxiety is already through the roof. No need for that. Okay, there's absolutely no need for those false reports, guys. Okay, if you have a report, make sure you confirm it and it's true right through the map, because if somebody hears that, especially with this type of situation that we've got going on, how volatile this situation is, it can end bad. Okay, so there's no need for that, guys. Okay, there's no tornado heading for Little Rock or anything like that. If there was, we'd be the first ones to know about it. We would let you guys know. Right now, no such thing is in place. There is a tornado watch until 9 o'clock, but there's no tornado warning in place across the board. So just kind of keep that in mind, especially across the area here. Now, right now, at this moment, severe thunderstorm warning over there in Shea County. I'm going to keep an eye on that area of rotation that's just constantly been there. But we'll keep an eye on at this point. Over there in northwestern Arkansas, so that tornado warning, I'd be real curious to see if they're going to extend it or anything like that. They've got about 8 minutes to extend it. We'll see what happens with that. We're going to stay on live until then. If it does drop it, we will break away from coverage temporarily to kind of get back into getting back into tornado warning coverage and stuff like that if needed. Keep this in mind. When we leave the live stream, it doesn't mean we're abandoning you at all. It does not mean that at all. It means that we go back to radar updates on the page. We go to radar updates on the page. The page is there for a reason. It's not just live streams or nothing. The page is there for a reason, guys. Okay, we have all the information on the page, all the safety tips, all the other good stuff. Everything's there, so you don't have to worry about anything. The Discord has been active all day long. A lot of people have been contacting us and stuff like that, which we really thank you guys for using that platform. It's an awesome platform, and it gets away from Facebook's algorithm. So that's the biggest thing with that, and we're going to utilize that platform a lot going forward. But the biggest thing I want to stress is we're not done just yet. Once this comes through in western Arkansas, that line of storms moves through, there may be even a third round that we'd have to contend with the main cold front. But we're not done just yet. And I'm keeping an eye on everything at this point. Derek, what do you got for me over there, by the way?
Nothing else right now. Just continuing to monitor the storms coming out of Oklahoma.
Okay.
Continuing to monitor the storm here in Southeast Arkansas as well. Also continuing to mention the fact that there is not a tornado coming into I don't know where that. It's coming from a radar app. It's coming from a radar app that says there's a tornado coming into Little Rock.
That's
okay,
not the case.
Folks. Again, this is why we say. Weather apps are useless. There's a reason why we say it, and this is why we say it right here.
Yeah.
Because unless it is a design app by the National Weather Service or somebody you trust, don't use it. Because again, there's no warning in effect. There's no storm warning effect, no tornado warning effect for the metro area. The only warnings right now are Ashley, Deshae, Chico, and Drew counties.
Yeah.
In the state right now. There are severe storm warnings just to the west of Arkansas, but right now there's no tornado threat here in
Little Rock.
Yeah.
No. Like I said before, guys, like I said, I know everybody's anxiety is through the roof right now. I get it. We completely understand. That report is false. We have no tornado warnings, no areas of rotation, anything near the metro right now. Only areas we were concerned about is Southeastern Arkansas, far southeast, and then in far northwestern Arkansas. Those two areas are it. Central Arkansas, no areas of rotation right now. It doesn't mean that you're done with the severe threat. Okay, that does not mean that at all. It just means that as of right now, yes, there is a thunderstorm moving over the area, and it's going to get windy, and there's going to be a lot of heavy rainfall, but it's not going to produce a tornado. There's no tornado warning or anything on it right now. Derek, are you seeing anything on your side?
No.
I'm not seeing anything on my side over here. So that's the biggest thing, guys. Just make sure if you're going to report something, make sure it's true before you post it, because a lot of people, anxiety is really through the roof right now, and we can't afford the false reports, guys. So just keep that in mind across the board. Now, the tornado warning itself, I think, just based off of what I'm seeing at this time, I think they're gonna let it go. Let me go double check and make sure the area of rotation and stuff like that. I do feel like if they were gonna extend it, it would have been extended by now across the board. Now, there's severe thunderstorm warning knocking on the doorstep of Crawford and Washington County up here in northwestern Arkansas, but the tornado warning itself still remains in effect across the board. I'm seeing a lot of flash flooding reports, and this is what I'm thinking is getting ready to happen. You're going from a severe weather threat, tornado and damaging wind threat, to more of a flash flooding threat across the board. And I'm just seeing the Twitter feed right now is just lined up with multiple flash flood warnings, for southern Arkansas, southeastern Arkansas, and stuff like that. So that's a great thing. Like I mentioned before, I don't think anybody in their right mind would like to see severe weather verified. But this is what we've got. We're kind of transitioning over, but I don't want anyone letting their guard down just yet.
Let's go back to Southeast Arkansas.
Yeah.
Again, I'm getting more reports.
Okay.
More reports from Southeast Arkansas. Tornado being reported, tornado damage. Now we're in Dermont.
Okay.
This is with the same area of rotation that has moved out. This is
I'm surprised it's not warned by now. If we had all those reports, I'm surprised it's not warned by now.
This is a storm that has moved out of Louisiana.
Yeah.
It produced tornadoes in Louisiana.
Yep.
There is now damage. There is now damage being reported from Ashland County and Chico County, and again we're now seeing reports of possible tornado in Dermont. So once again, the same thing exists where we're getting multiple reports along this line of storms as it continues to push northeast. Now, that being said, there is no warning in effect at this time.
Severe thunderstorm warning, but no
except for a severe thunderstorm warning. But again, it's a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on it.
No longer in place.
Okay.
It's 60 mile per hour, 1 inch in 1 inch hail. I'm gonna stand on that hill. I think that should have been warned. To be completely honest with you, I think they should have kept the tornado warning extending into Ashley in the Chico County and stuff like that. Especially if we're getting all those reports all of a sudden, because this could have been a situation where you had a tornado, and that's the thing I was monitoring was all that rotation that was being picked up by the radar down here in Ashley and Chico County. I think that should have kept the tornado warning going down there in southeastern Arkansas. The severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible, will cover you, but the tornado warning, I think, would have covered you a lot better with this particular setup, especially when you've gotten damage. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping nobody was hurt, because a lot of people when they don't hear a tornado warning, they don't take shelter. They think if it's a severe thunderstorm warning, you don't need to take shelter, which is not the case, by the way. So I'm really hoping nobody got hurt from this at this point. I think they should have kept the tornado warning going through southeastern Arkansas and into Mississippi like we were both expecting it to. The severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible, is still there. I said for it's great, it covers you, but this one should have been tornado warning, because especially for now getting damage reports here. And Derek, if you can work on getting that confirmed with me, let me know. Yeah. But that's going to be the biggest thing at this time here. So we're going to watch the situation closely. Now, obviously, by now, the rotation has died off significantly, so they couldn't put a warning out there even if they wanted to. But I think they should have kept it going throughout Ashley and Chico.
Let's go to southwest Arkansas now.
Okay. All right. So
let's go to southwest Arkansas.
Okay.
Let's go back to our Shreveport radar here.
Yep, already did.
Okay. Also, let's go, because now we have a new area of supercell storms developing.
Okay.
Just to the west of the Texarkana area.
Okay.
Again, just another round. Again, like I said, this is where multiple rounds
of severe weather.
of severe thunderstorm. Again, nothing is severe at this time, but I'm watching the storm here just to the south of Idabel.
Okay.
This is a storm that will move into parts of Sevier County and Little River County here soon.
Right
It is showing some signs of rotation, not a lot, but it's out there all by itself.
Yeah, right here. That's coming in here. So near New Boston, south of Idabel and stuff like that, just to the west of Ashdown. That's going to be an area of concern. We'll have to keep an eye on it. This area out here has been relatively untouched for much of the day. You've gotten some showers, thunderstorms kind of pass through this area, but relatively untouched here. And another thing that's standing out to me in terms of blocking Arkansas's severe weather threat, and we talk about this too whenever we're forecasting severe weather, Louisiana has a lot of, as you can see, a lot of flash flood warnings, a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings, a lot of special weather statements down there. I think what's going on, had we gotten this morning, we wouldn't be here right now. We wouldn't be dealing with a severe threat because you'd be done. But with it coming in so late, it's trying its hardest to block the majority of the moisture return from coming back. The problem is you still have lingering instability and lingering moisture left from this morning because round one never got the job done in terms of wiping everything out. So it's trying to hold back as much as possible. Will it counteract? We'll have to wait and see. It depends. But for right now, we're going to keep an eye on that storm in Texarkana at this point.
Our tornado warning coming in Fort Smith has been
dropped.
Has been allowed to expire.
It got replaced with a severe thunderstorm.
Let's go back to our radar in Little Rock. And again, let's go over statewide view one more time before we break away from coverage, at least temporarily. All right, folks, I want to address this again. Heather, I'm going to address this again. You've been commenting constantly. There's a tornado coming into Little Rock, and again,
I don't know where you're getting that report from.
I
have no idea where you're getting that report from.
It's an aviation app, is what it is, and I don't know how good it is, anything like that. But again, let's look at the radar here, folks. There's no tornado. This severe weather threat still exists for central Arkansas tonight.
There's no tornado.
So until that wave out of Oklahoma comes out, severe threat exists. There's no tornado warning in effect for Little Rock anywhere near it right now. There's no damage around it. The only tornado that was close to Little Rock was Jessieville, and that was about 4 to 5 hours ago.
Yeah, that was.
So there's nothing right now.
Yeah.
There's not going to be anything here for a little bit. Every one of these storms we're going to have to watch overnight. But right now, there is no tornado warning in effect. All of Arkansas is in an enhanced risk for severe weather. We're in a slight to moderate risk for heavy rainfall overnight.
Yep.
And like Cameron said, it's something we're going to have to watch into the overnight hours.
I think your flag press is going to
right
take
now,
a stronghold with this.
No tornado warnings in effect. That's what we love to see. We're going to break away from coverage.
1 second. Right there, and coming into southeastern, northeastern Texas, southwestern Arkansas, that the Queen storm. We're going to break away for just a bit, for just a moment. I think we're good to go for right now. Regular radar update will get the job done. But if you know anybody, the Queen, we're going to monitor that storm closely. You can see it probably on your radar over there. Has that hook trying to develop with that. We'll watch the situation very, very closely. Like I mentioned before, guys. Okay. If there was any tornado warning or anything of that measure, we would be the first to know about it. There's a software to my left, right over here, that has all the warnings which you've been hearing constantly go off throughout the live stream, the beeping that you've been hearing going off. We have this software over here. This software normally beats us before we even know the tornado warning or severe weather warning is in place. Let me make this 1,000% clear. There's no tornado warning coming into Little Rock. There's no massive tornado coming into central Arkansas at this time. Yes, the tornado threat is still there. Yes, you still have to be weather aware, but you gotta make sure that you're getting official weather reports. There's no tornado warning right now at this current time here. Everybody's anxiety is through the roof at this point. Make sure that you're being confirmed with those reports before you post about it. Because if there was a tornado warning for Little Rock, we wouldn't be scrambling across the state. Our focus would be here in Little Rock. We wouldn't be sitting here, going over northwestern Arkansas or southeastern Arkansas if there was a tornado warning coming from Little Rock, where our weather center is. So That's the biggest thing right now here, okay? We're going to monitor it. We're going to be here throughout the overnight hours. We're still monitoring the situation. Like I mentioned before, we're going to watch that DeQueen cell pretty close and see what ends up happening out of it. Along with northwestern Arkansas, you still got a severe thunderstorm warning toward Paws, just to the northwest of Fort Smith right now. So we're watching that closely as well. Multiple reports of flash flooding. I've talked about this too, about the flooding threat being ignored. I think the flooding threat at this time here, if this continues, you start seeing that uptrend in shower thunderstorm activity, you will quickly go from a tornado threat to a flooding threat real fast. So keep that in mind. We're going to monitor the situation very, very closely, but we're not done just yet. We're going to monitor everything. We're going to be here. We're going to keep you guys updated. Derek, do you have anything else you want to address?
Right now, no warnings in the state, so we're going except for the one severe thunderstorm warning in Southeast Arkansas that's about to move across the Mississippi River.
And I'm going to take a look at that as well. Yeah.
Attention will now turn to West Arkansas, but until we get additional warnings, we are going to break away from live coverage. Radar updates will continue right here on your source
for all things Arkansas weather.